Just start the fucking thing. Just how about you start off with me fucking screaming? You know, just screaming at you because you're fucking. My co-host doesn't know how to start a fucking show. You know, just I constantly just harassing me. You know, am I ready? You know, when he plays Street Fighter, he goes for the low. Or he goes for the grab. You know, think of it like a match at third strike. What do you do in third strike? Do you go for the parry? No, you don't go for the parry. You usually go for a grab.
I block.
Oh, you block, the intelligent one. He blocks.
I block. Would you like to introduce yourself for the fine people who have no idea what this is or who we are?
My name is Top Kek, and my co-host is the other asshole, and this is Seething Boomers.
Boom!
Oh my God, everything fucking sucks. Like, what the fuck is going on here? Oh, here we go. This guy thinks he's Hot 97. I'm gonna cancel this fucking shit.
Oh, yeah, that's the wrong one. There we go.
There we go. No, the other one was more appropriate. That was appropriate. It was right. Yeah, that was right.
Oh no. Welcome everybody. Today we're going to be analyzing two videos in particular. The Core A Gaming has released a video 3 days ago called Every Fighting Game Type Explained. And we also have here Street Fighter Pros debate the most controversial topics.
Oh wow, real controversial.
Which is from 8 days ago. There is a lot of gaming news right now, and there's a lot of port news going on in the world, but let's ignore that for now. We're just gonna focus our attention here.
Everything's getting lost in the backlog, you know. These containers, they just disappear and they reappear. And sometimes they'll contain maybe some dead prostitutes. We don't know that, you know. These are just a storyline.
She was a beautiful creature.
A beautiful creature.
You killed her. You killed Pyro.
Oh my God! Listen, we don't know, but yeah, there's a lot of controversies right now happening in the gaming world, in the news. We won't be covering that today. We're gonna go back to some fighting game analysis. We're gonna be analyzing this video right here, I believe, by Justin Wong and Men Are The. We're gonna do this one first.
No, we're gonna do the other. We're gonna do the other one first. Yeah, some FGC.
Oh, we're gonna do this one first. Oh.
Yeah.
Learn some footsies, motherfucker.
Motherfucker.
Fuck out of here.
With our third
This
co-host,
fucking
Punk.
hog.
He sits in the back and doesn't say much. Just gets angry.
I haven't watched this video, so we're gonna watch it together.
I have not either. I have to assume it's gonna be cringe. The best kind of cringe. Let me lower the quality because my internet's garbage. And let's.
But how am I supposed to see everything?
Are you not watching my screen?
Yes.
All right then.
Is the quality gonna get worse for me? Oh, all right.
It's 480. It should be fun. It should be visible. You should be able to make the shapes and colors out just fine.
Yeah, potato quality, like I'm in Russia.
Potatoes are Irish, dude.
The gameplay trailer for upcoming fighting game 2XKO.
Oh God, he talks fast. He talks fast. We gotta slow it down. We gotta go back to normal.
Why did you do that?
He talks too fast, dude. All right, first
so
chapter.
What is he talking about?
First chapter, the archetype.
All right, so before we even start, what does he mean by the archetype? Is he talking about like functions, like with what Combo Fiend was saying?
Look,
which
I'm not even. Look at me, I'm not
where
even.
He ultimately lost his job because of that statement. Is that why they're not saying functions anymore? Now they're calling it the archetype. You know. No.
You can see my screen, but the people couldn't. Now they can see it.
Oh, they can see it now?
Tragedy avoided.
What? Once again,
production
my co-host is terrible.
Look,
He's fucking terrible.
We got 523 views on a short. That means we got 5 million viewers. We made it, dude.
Whatever. All right, so the archetype. What functions are they going to talk about? Can you guess of any functions?
I don't even know where this... Every fighting game type explained. So I don't even know where this is starting from.
But they're talking about the archetype. So how do you perceive it?
I have to assume this is an introduction to, like, this is the key, like the map key to the rest of the video. I have to assume that's what this is. Let's jump in.
When Riot revealed the gameplay trailer for its upcoming fighting game 2XKO, a user on Reddit described the game as a Tekken-like, which caused the collective facepalming of fighting game fans.
Do you agree with that statement? Is 2xKO a Tekken-like?
Well, see, what they're doing is that they're taking this person's statement completely out of context and saying that he's not knowledgeable. So what's interesting is that he didn't say anything wrong. It is a 2D fighting game, and you are pretty much mashing your buttons. You know, what do most players do in Tekken? They mash their buttons. What do you do in Marvel 2? You mash your buttons. I'm known for mashing my buttons, you know. Am I doing it in a strategic manner? Yes, because I know what fucking sequence I'm supposed to push, you know. Some people aren't knowledgeable. You know, they don't know the game. So this guy right here is not wrong. So right here, we're breaking this video down, all right? Why are they attacking this guy right here? These people are full of shit, disingenuous. You mean to tell me because he said it's a Tekken-like, it's a fucking problem, and the whole entire community did a facepalm? No, he made a legitimate statement, you know? It's a button masher.
Reddit described the game as a Tekken-like, which caused the collective...
The collective facepalm, dude.
What collective facepalming? What collective facepalming?
I like how
image.
The same guy is like here like 5 times.
Yeah, this horrible AI image here. Absolutely dog shit.
I love it. Look, guys, AI. Dude, the thing about the Reddit thing.
Game 2xK.
I don't know how to mute this video. The fucking -9 points. Like, what a hot take, dude. -9.
Like, really? Really?
You go on the fucking Reddit page to find a fucking discussion between people who have differing opinions, and you have to fucking click on this guy's post because it was hidden to see what the fuck he said.
That's fucked up. He didn't say anything wrong.
And it's all the way on.
Oh, you guys are a bunch of scrubs.
You gotta
like,
scroll all the way down.
I'm nice in Marvel too. I will bust your ass too. To me, this should. I mean, no, I'll chill with the anti-Semitism, man. You fucking stop.
No, I said the sexual. Sexual. You said you're gonna bust in someone's ass. I was like, you know, cool. P Diddy's in prison, dude. We gotta chill out, bro.
The diddler. Listen, that's besides the point. Listen, the guy didn't make a wrong statement. It was fine.
Hanging out with his buddy Sam.
All right. Shut up. Hey, play the video. Play the video. I already see what's going on.
Fighting game fans. It was like someone saw these spring rolls and called them burritos.
Food analogy.
Burrito?
Terrible. This guy's an idiot.
Tekken and 2xKO are obviously different to fighting game play.
So they're obviously different, is what he's saying. So he's saying this guy was wrong. The guy with the hot take, the -9.
This guy doesn't know what the fuck he's talking about. See, the problem
maybe we're jumping the gun. Maybe he's gonna make a point here.
No, I refuse to allow him to make a point because he's still trying to attack this poster. How fucking dare he? Well, 2xKO is trying to emulate Marvel vs. Capcom 2, which is a heavy button mashing game. You're just mashing buttons all fucking day. It's just like Tekken. Why you give me that fucking shit?
Wait, you might be setting up a defense of this -9 guy.
All right, let me see.
Players, but it's not surprising how these games could seem similar to the layperson. Look at how many have a character select screen aside.
Oh no, you're right.
Oh my god,
you're right.
This guy's a fucking really. So what was the purpose of explaining the archetype? I thought he was going to talk about character functions.
We're not even 30 seconds into this. This is going to take us forever.
This is a terrible video. All right, let's go. Let's go.
Let's
play
put the closed captions on too. Maybe we'll just do that because I don't want
to. No, why?
You want to hear his? I guess. Yeah, the people listening at home, maybe. Yeah.
This guy's an idiot. Once again, my co-host is an idiot.
Oh, I'm an idiot.
Idiot.
Right. Oh,
Jesus.
Brother, this guy stinks.
All he cares about is soundboard. That's
the center until someone is KO'd. Win enough rounds and win the match. How can these games be all that different if so many share these fundamental characteristics? But the same can be said about a genre of music like
another analogy.
Like rock.
Wait,
oh my god, get to the point.
Rock music mostly has some combination of
my god, we're not allowed
to blues rock in time.
Skip.
Is its roots
you can skip this. You can skip this.
What? Is this guy gonna go like 5 hours for every analogy he makes?
Essential piece.
No. Let's pause it. So what he's essentially trying to do is, give the viewers at least a visualization of the family tree of what is fighting games and why they break into the different styles overall, and like why games became what, because people tend to forget that Virtua Fighter is what eventually gave way to Tekken. It was Virtua Fighter first, then Tekken. And then you have like the original Street Fighter games and the original SNK games.
But what about
and a lot
Fighting
of
Vipers?
Fighting Vipers, that was after Virtua Fighter 2, I think, or
what
Virtua
about
Fighter 1.
Kinnikuman Man Grand Prix 2?
Kinnikuman Man Grand Prix 2, I think, was in 2004.
What
I think
about
that's
Bloody Roar? Just fucking
Bloody Roar, I believe, was in 97 or 98.
I'm just fucking with you, and you have all the dates. Got it
No,
memorized?
because I played those games. I had them. No, I don't got anything memorized. I could be wrong. Guys, fact check me, all right? I'm probably full of shit. Don't you believe a fucking thing I say, all right? Until you can confirm it yourself.
All right, so he's explaining the different...
You don't believe nobody.
The different types of fighting games that are possible, right? So I guess in everything here, he's going to kind of go over some of the elements of fighting games. I guess we can kind of pick and choose what chapters we like. What do you think?
Yeah, we're going to go through them. Yeah, not yet. That's why I want to go through this video. Because, like, first of all, the fact that he attacked the guy's full of shit. All right? He didn't say anything wrong. The guy just didn't know how to...
-9 on Reddit, dude. That is the ultimate punishment for having a hot
-9, that's the ultimate punishment? -9 on Reddit? Really?
-9 on Reddit, bro. You're going to get punished.
This is how we live by these internet standards.
+1 or +2. If you're +1 or +2, you'll be safe. But if you're -9,
the guy did...
I'm going to sweep you. You know what I mean?
I'm here to say that the guy didn't say anything wrong, because a lot of people that don't know how to play fighting games are button mashing. And there are top players where they get flustered, and guess what they start fucking doing? They start button mashing. All right? They don't take in consideration that whatever button they're whiffing might fuck them over. That's when you go, oh, look at that guy, he's doing a dumbass play. Yeah, because he's button mashing. Yeah. He's over there playing with his face. He's not even using his hands.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, if someone has a hot take, let them have a hot take. That's why I don't like Reddit. It's not good for conversations, for honest conversations. It's set up for dishonest conversations is what it's set up for.
Yeah, it is, That's fucked up that they try to attack this dude. Yeah, let's move on.
Street Fighter II, The World Warrior in 1991. Yes, it was inspired by many iconic fighting games before it, but they also served as prototypes that laid the groundwork.
Why aren't they talking about Yuri Kung Fu? Heavyweight champion.
Karate Champ in 1984 brought forth
that's the original one.
Side view martial arts game, but its clunky double joystick.
Ron Jeremy in the middle, being the judge.
The gameplay did not.
Ron Jeremy's the judge.
Look at his big ass balls. Look at Ron Jeremy's huge balls. Look at that.
Oh my god.
Shut up. Game, but its clunky double joystick gameplay did not hold up over time.
Pause that.
Double joystick. Godlike.
Yeah. You'll never see that again in double joysticks.
But its clunky double joystick gameplay did not.
That's the old school Monster Hunter. You gotta play with both your joysticks.
In an alternate timeline, we still play fighting games in this manner, where it's just two joysticks. We play with two sanwas.
Can
you fucking imagine?
To get out of stun, you gotta do the double boogie 2988 tipple twister.
Like maybe that's why they wanted to. Maybe that's why they wanted to continue with triangle motions, and like all those weird like Z motions and everything else, and like the square motions. A lot of that stuff doesn't exist no more.
Well, it's funny that Street Fighter 2, in a way, innovated so much, in being like one of the first games, and like so much of that we still use it today. And they were just like, they weren't like professional fighting game players. There were no professional fighting game players. They were just some fucking Japanese dudes in the office being like, wouldn't this be cool? And they made one of the most definitive fucking games in the fucking genre.
Like this is ancient hitbox right here. You want to talk about hitbox players? This is ancient hitbox.
This is my ancient hitbox.
Come on, that's what he should have been talking about.
How do you describe
that's the real history lesson here.
How do you describe the motions for this game? You gotta do left, left.
How is it any different from using a keyboard?
Right, up, down. No, not that down. The other down.
The other down. Right down, left down.
That's the wrong down you're pressing. Wait, is this shit?
That's kind of.
Wait, is this shit flipped for each player?
Yeah, one's for movement, one's for attack.
And then the second player has a shit flipped? Oh my god.
Yeah.
Fucking awful.
You see how intelligent the Japanese is? So if you were left-handed, you had to beat second player. But if you was right-handed, you had to be first player.
My right arm is tired. Let's switch.
Let's switch. Oh my god.
Over time. ER Kung Fu had health bars and multiple characters, but it was sadly single player only, and even with all the lasting innovations Street Fighter 1
and pause
had,
that right there. And ER Kung Fu is actually arguably considered the real like official one, because that's what basically spawned all the different fighting games. Like he said, you know, the health bars and everything else. Like it was the evolution of the beat 'em up games. Like keep in mind, like those beat 'em up games were still out there. So now you had basically a boss rush mode, if that makes sense. So it went from a boss rush mode to a PvP mode. So I'm using that terminology because that's a little bit more current and modern. So I want the Zoomers to keep up, you know, because if not, they're gonna start doing the skibbity toilets and spinning on their heads. I'm gonna lose them.
If that's the case, you're gonna lose them regardless of what you say.
I already lost them, right? They're gone. Yeah, they niggas there. I was like, oh, this guy, yeah, they're gone.
Oh god, we gotta play 3 other videos at the same time to catch their attention.
Listen, we're fucking old, man. Bunch of old dudes. And we're trying to break this shit down for you guys.
Back in my day, we used 2 sticks to beat a man's ass.
You beat a man.
Select a character.
Oh boy, the legends here.
These games were popular and sold well, but none would get close to the impact and success of Street Fighter 2, which would go on to sell over 22 million copies across platforms.
22 million? Oh boy, how much does Street Fighter 6 sell? How much does Street Fighter 5 sell?
Forms. It just had the right combination of design and gameplay that became the basis for so many fighting games.
Oh, what's this? I've never seen this. What game is this?
Yeah, this is... I don't know.
Verdict Guilty 2016. Never seen this.
Going forward, including major titles being made today. So what exactly are these design and gameplay elements that...
Alright, so that's basically that chapter for now.
Yeah, so go, yeah, because we got to figure out. Okay, so there's the fighting games 1v1. There's the traditional, and there's the hybrid, which is a non-traditional. But like this is when it becomes a little difficult because they're still on the 2D plane. And and please keep in mind, guys, we're watching this video together, so I'm hoping he's at least able to distinguish certain controller layouts and how to actually play the game, because that also needs to be taken into consideration. You know, you can't use a fucking arcade stick on Super Smash Brothers unless you make it a hitbox. You know, and then hitbox got banned. You know.
Wait, the Smash community banned the hitbox?
Yeah, they banned the hitboxes and shit.
Godlike.
Like, I think now you can use them, but yeah, I think it's all controller. Yeah, like officially, it's all controller.
Damn.
You know, so I'm hoping that he makes those distinguishes. You know. The style of gameplay, you know, because there's certain fighting games where there are 4-button layouts, 3-button layouts, 6-button layouts. Some are 8-button layouts. You know, this is like when you start getting into Smash territory and everything else.
Run button,
you know, because
your block button.
Your block button and everything else. So I'm hoping he takes those distinguishes into consideration, because if you just say, oh, this is a 2D game, this is a 3D game, these are assist fighters and everything, it's like, nah, come on, my nigga, like really break it down, bro, please. But once again, you know, maybe we're being a little hard on him, you know, so let's see.
Fuck this guy. This guy's triggered me
absolutely
before.
Correct. Fuck this nigga. Fuck this nigga. Absolutely correct.
All right, well, not
all right.
No, that's such harsh language. You sound like the Boondocks season 1 I was watching last night.
Listen, man, I chill with the thugs on the block.
I got the rope right here.
Uncle Ruckus. Causing
like
a
many
ruckus.
games before, Street Fighter 2 was a 2D fighting game with a side perspective where both characters are always facing each other. This means that the character movement is described as moving backwards and forwards as opposed to merely left and right. Because it's a 2D game, you cannot evade attacks by moving to the third dimension any more than the original Pac-Man could jump over ghosts. This is why these NPCs can be so chill when a fight is happening right in front of them. They know they'll never get hit.
But that can happen in any fighting game. You know, which is why I was explaining that most fighting games are on the 2D plane.
3D models and environments, but if the gameplay still takes
let's say if he makes a distinction,
you still have a 2D fighting game, though some will call them 2.5D.
Yes.
But while you cannot evade by moving into the third dimension, you can evade.
You know, I don't like this description because you could add a third dimension to the game. It's not impossible to add to a 2D sprite-based game. Like
yes, and you're talking about games like Fatal Fury.
Like if you had a fucking well, CVS2, you have the fucking dodge mechanic, which technically you're like moving off to the side. But not really.
Yes, that's a good counterpoint. No, you're right though. That's a good counterpoint. It's still within the 2D plane, but yes, the fact that you have that extra movement.
And like all those like maybe I'm nitpicking here with his description, but like all those beat 'em ups where you're sliding up and down the screen. But maybe I'm nitpicking here, but maybe his definition is too strict. I don't know.
Going up really high. So characters jump higher than their own height, making the combat look like Cirque du Soleil.
Yeah.
Making use of the 8-way joystick.
All right, I think we could slow it down a little bit. And if anything, we could just like skip forward.
Are you not on caffeine and meth like I am?
No, bro. What's wrong with you? Like, I don't know.
Let's speed it up.
No, we want the audience to at least be able to listen to what he's saying. That's why.
Well, the audience is gonna speed us up, so this video is gonna be on 3x while we're on like 2x. You know. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about the audience. The audience can slow us down. The audience can go to 0.7. They got custom options now too. Look at this.
Guys, if anything, if you actually want to watch the video, we'll link the video if you want to watch this. But this is us giving our commentary on top of this video. That's all.
Yeah, we're just being autistic.
You know, all right. That also.
Did you want me to pause here? Is this what you wanted?
No. Keep talking. 3-way jump.
Forward jump and up back was back jump. Each of the 3-way jumps are at fixed heights, trajectories, and distances per character. Hold forward to walk forward, hold back to walk backwards, and hold down to crouch.
Yeah, you can do that in most fighting games. That's the point.
Also control the blocking. You hold back to block, which
this is very rudimentary things he's describing. I think our audience
is the same input to walk backwards.
Yeah, because like when you talk about 2D fighting games, like why is he not talking about like the fighting mechanic? Like the fact that this 2D fighting game right here is 6 buttons. You know, there's other 2D fighting games that are 4 buttons. You know,
going over the movement right now.
The basics. The basics are.
If you've noticed, all the jumping and blocking are done on the 8-way joystick.
Yeah, that's the thing.
The creator of Street Fighter 1, Takashi Nishiyama, wanted a 6-button game in an era where 2 was the norm. He would argue that a 6-button game wouldn't be too complicated if all the buttons did the same thing, attack. Nishiyama got his way, and Street Fighter would have no jump button and no block button for over 3 decades and counting.
That's a very interesting perspective. I never knew that.
Yes.
If all the buttons are the same exact thing. But now we got throw, parry, drive impact, drive rush, rage drive, burst.
Yeah, a lot of
Roman cancel.
Yeah.
What's the Guilty Gear one? The forward one? That's just like a drive impact.
I forgot.
But yet, this goes back to like when games were elegantly simple, and now they're like convoluted and they don't add anything to the game.
Yeah.
But there was an unintentional consequence of a hold back to block system, which had become a major part of the archetypal 2D fighting game to this day.
The cross-up.
The problem,
which is a legit argument. That is a legit argument of cross-ups in 2D fighting games. That's a legit argument. I don't know what he's trying to get out of it in terms of the context of explaining all the different fighting games in general. You know, obviously there aren't.
He's describing all the mechanics of a fighting. I don't think we need to go deep into this. This is very like entry level stuff. Cross-ups, block button, highs and lows. Yeah. He goes into S and K here. This might be interesting to skip to. What do you think?
No, let's listen to him. Come on, let's give him the benefit of the doubt. We could skip, obviously. You know, we'll see.
The problem or feature of hold back to block is that the input for back changes depending on if your opponent is to your right or your left. If your opponent
that's because of the autocorrect. That's because of the autocorrect
left,
that's taken into consideration. That's
enough,
fine.
But which way should you hold here to block? Left or right? It's hard to know which direction is back if you don't know if your opponent will be to your right or your left. In this case, you must hold right to block because the opponent ends up to your left when the attack connects.
Wrong, you do sweep so he whiffs.
Oof.
Tricky, but that's what makes it so good.
And you wanted to skip this part.
An attack that suddenly requires you to switch blocking direction to defend is called a cross-up.
So the first guy I ever saw do cross-ups, his name was Tony Tsui. I was doing cross-ups myself. but didn't even know I was doing it. I just do that for whatever reason. If I jumped into somebody really deep, all of a sudden the guy couldn't block it.
A big part of fighting games is to make your opponent.
And this is Tomo Ihara. Tomo Ihara is considered a Street Fighter god. Like, he is like the original Justin Wong. Like, he was like the legend. Nobody could beat him in Street Fighter 2. I'm talking about the original Street Fighter 2 when it first came out. Like, that dude is a legend. We might have to do an episode on him and break down his backstory, you know, and what he accomplished and how he was doing a lot of the what was it, the instructional videos for like the Japanese players too. Like all those not the combo videos, but like the official release Street Fighter guide VHSs, like that was all Tomo Ihara doing it for Capcom officially. A lot of people don't know that.
Into somebody really deep.
Yeah, and people that got the... Now you can play it.
A big part of fighting games is to make your opponent...
I didn't want to cut you off. I thought you were finished.
No, that's fine. Look at this idiot K-Brad. Look at his face.
Poggers.
Got washed. Look at him. Yeah, Poggers. He got washed.
Specifically in this case, a left-right mix-up.
I always want to see this stuff on ESPN. Let's get rid of the spelling bee already. I don't care.
Is that Mike Ross?
Memorizing words out of
Michael,
a dictionary.
Michael
There's no
Ross.
resets in the dictionary.
Oh
There's no cross-ups in spelling.
But it's hard to cross someone up when they're a moving target. Luckily, Street Fighter 2 also introduced knockdowns, which rendered a player immobile but invulnerable until they got up.
The
With the
Okizemi.
opponent on the ground, you can get in position to plan your mix-up. If it hits like this, there's a small window where you can score another free hit afterwards before the game will let your opponent block. This glitch is what we now know as a combo. From here, you can do a special attack before your attack animation finishes and get a third free hit. Game is starting to look busted now. Look at this janky animation transition. Starting another move before the previous one finishes its animation is called canceling, a staple feature of the 2D fighting game archetype and extremely impossible in real life.
So, my time ROM hacking or modding fighting games, I have realized that the speed of a game is largely determined by the knockdowns and, you wouldn't think this, but the canceling.
Yeah, the cancel window.
If you can't cancel in a game, the game feels slow. The game feels sluggish. It's kind of weird how that works. Maybe it's my mental block, I don't know.
Because you're adding frame on top of frame, you know, the animation.
You're skipping a lot of frames. You're skipping recovery to get into other moves. Like, you're progressing the game along in such a way. And it like mentally, at least for me, when I'm messing around, the game feels faster. Like if I have a Darkstalkers combo, light, medium, hard, whatever.
Yeah,
like that's gonna speed up the game. Even if the game is not running any faster, it's gonna feel like a faster game, for sure.
Street Fighter 2 lead designer Akira Nishitani said, "We thought this was quite interesting, and it didn't seem to cause any bugs, so we decided it could be a feature to expand the gameplay." So, another genre-defining accident. This whole glitch-filled attack sequence where you planned your left-right mix-up feels like you were setting your opponent up, which is exactly why they're called setups.
Yes.
But the left-right mix-up would not have worked if the game did not have hold back to block and used the block button instead. This is what Mortal Kombat did in 1992.
Yes. Well, I'm happy he's talking about the block button because it's actually very important, you know? Because there's certain people that they consider Mortal Kombat 1 and 2 like the true way to play Mortal Kombat. I don't know why. I'm not a fan of Mortal Kombat, but like a lot of those older dudes, like that's like their style. Me, I was more of a fan of like UMK3, you know, Ultimate Mortal Kombat 3, because like it had all the combos and all the air combos and all the other weird shit. Yeah, all the cancels, obviously. Yeah, that's like when it really got crazy. But this one plays more like a traditional Street Fighter, funny enough. But you just had like your block button. You had that option where you always had to like, instead of going on for attack, you would just go for a block. Like this game was very had a lot of defensive options, if that makes sense. Like you would attack and then block, attack and then block.
It's interesting, like because of the block button, they're able to do a lot of crazier stuff via like teleports and screen flipping around and all that kind of stuff. Because there's a block button, you don't. It's not necessarily such a big thing to, you know, change the position of the players like instantly. Like in Street Fighter, you have to go from holding left to holding right like really fast. Whereas Mortal Kombat, you're still blocking no matter what, still holding that block button. So you can do all those crazy teleports and stuff.
Yeah.
So that is an element that, you know, if a designer chooses, that is one way they can go about designing their game.
Done with a button instead of a direction, there is no left or right blocking to worry about, meaning no left-right mix-up game to be had.
Yeah.
Whether Scorpion throws his spear or does his side-switching
No matter
teleport
what.
punch, the answer is the same, block button. This would actually be a nightmare to deal with if you had to hold
Damn, I was just explaining this.
back the block, because you'd have to walk backwards to block spear, and
Oh my god, the
block teleport
quality is
punch.
starting terrible.
But funny
on me,
enough-
man. I'm dying.
You're underwater, don't worry. Just
All right.
hold your breath, you'll be fine.
This nightmare came true when Scorpion
I'm
became
holding
a
my
guest
breath.
character
Let's
in
see.
Injustice, NetherRealm Studios' first hold-back-to-block fighting game.
How can you say that this move has been toned down? Look at it, it's ridiculous.
Yeah, I know.
Breaks the rules of the game.
This became a great example of a guest character bringing over their abilities into a host world only to harass its people with never-before-seen technology. Basically, what I call the Predator effect. Calls for tournament bans and nerfs would reach game director.
No,
and
that's a good point actually. I'm kind of happy that he brought that up.
Yes, very nice.
You know, because that's what people was afraid of when Street Fighter Cross Tekken was going to happen. Some people thought that maybe the Tekken characters would have been overpowered because of what combos they would have been able to do and so forth. And yeah, certain Tekken characters, I do believe they have a 10-hit combo, or is it like an 8-hit combo? Most of the Tekken characters in that game, right?
Yeah, but they're... Oh,
'Cause you played it more than me. I don't know.
The Tekken characters in what? In what?
Street Fighter Cross Tekken. And Street Fighter Cross Tekken.
No, I don't believe they do have the 10-hit combos, no.
I think
like
maybe
some of them have very
certain Tekken characters.
Some of them have very long combos, and some of them have like weird, chains you could do with them.
Yeah,
I've never really messed around with.
and even
what's her name's Yao. I don't know how to say her name. She probably has some weird.
Xiao Yu, yeah. No, she does. She does have a lot of crazy stuff. That's why she came to my mind first.
where he
But-
acknowledged the
Yes, you. No, what I was gonna say is that it does become problematic trying to mesh the different fighting styles. I mean, Capcom and SNK was able to find some common ground when they first did the collaboration series. When the first game was actually 4 buttons, a lot of people don't know that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. They should have kept it that way, to be honest.
And I'm gonna be honest. Yeah, it felt better. I don't know why. It felt cleaner. You know, and the reason why I'm saying that is because now most fighting games, they're simplifying them way in such a manner that to me the 4-button layout makes more sense. If you were to simplify, most modern games today, I don't think the need for extra buttons is necessary. I think that's
Well, it
and
used
it's
to
fucked up because
be-
I don't want to say it's a handicap for most players, but I feel like it's a handicap. I feel like if we can all learn a 4-button layout, then they can simplify the fighting games from there.
Well,
It's not like haven't done it before.
like the original Street Fighter 2, like you can play it in such a manner where every button has a very unique purpose depending on the matchup. Like your standing light kick maybe not so good in a certain matchup, or your standing medium kick, which maybe it has the same animation, has a different hitbox on it, hurtbox on it.
Or
And
property on it, yeah.
In this matchup, it's actually a better tool. Whereas that's a lot of nuance that these newer games don't have at all. Like they're very simplified in terms of your approaches and your offense. So like the extra buttons, what are they really doing? A lot of special moves don't even change between button strengths.
Yeah.
the issue and promised changes. A glance at the 15-page thread on the Mortal Kombat forum testyourmight.com shows how divided people were when they found out Injustice would be a hold-back-to-block game. Mortal Kombat is unique for being a major OG 2D fighting game that is not hold-back-to-block. Its rock music equivalent would be Elvis,
Oh boy.
a major OG rock artist who stood out from the others by doing his own thing and taking the performative aspects to the next level.
Like, I understand why he's trying to make the distinguishments, but he doesn't have to keep making these parallels for the viewers. I think he could make it a little bit more straightforward. The allergies aren't necessary. You don't have to make all these metaphors and stuff.
I can't stand them.
I think this is what's making the video a little bit more bloated, in my opinion.
Oh, this is a
But
very.
he is making some good quality points.
This is a very bloated video for sure.
All right, let's look at the highs.
Without a left-right mix-up
What is
game,
he talking
you can
about?
still
The
have the
highs?
high-low mix-up game. The question of whether you should stand block or crouch block, also known as blocking high or low. The rule established by
Oh, the
Street Fighter
mental
2 was that
stack.
blocking high will
The
defend against
mental
high
stack.
attacks and jumping attacks, but lose to low attacks,
But which way do I parry? Ah!
which makes intuitive sense. Look how vulnerable those ankles are. And blocking low will defend against both low attacks and high attacks, but will lose to jumping attacks. Not as intuitive, but that's the rule still used today.
How's that not intuitive?
I mean, maybe they're trying to say that maybe there should be a mechanic that stops, that type of aggressive play. This is why people will welcome like burst-like mechanics.
No. He's saying,
A
he's
la
saying
Guilty
that
Gear.
he's saying that blocking high for jumping attacks doesn't make sense.
Oh, I took that completely wrong. I
High
apologize.
attacks,
dude.
but will lose to jumping attacks.
But
Not as
why would it
intuitive,
be
but
wrong?
How was I supposed to know that crouching block doesn't beat high attacks? Essentially, is what he's presenting here,
that defend against
which is
Well,
a
then
very
this is another thing.
bizarre argument.
Yeah, that is kind of a bizarre argument because if you were crouching, there's some people that
Because
at
like
least would have the idea.
remove other blocking, right? You have low blocking,
Yeah.
so you have to assume that there is a type of high blocking if there's low blocking. Go on.
No, of course. That makes sense. But what I was going to say is that instead of blocking, he can just do crouching hard,
Well, I think
to
he
initiate
just
the
means blocking,
anti-air.
though.
No, I know, I get that. But he is talking about the highs and lows. The opponent is performing a jumping high. I'm performing a crouching low. Or am I performing a crouching hard? Yeah, crouching hard. I apologize, guys.
Such a bizarre thing.
Like I understand. I'm trying to understand. Like the point. Like it's fucked up because I don't want to say that the guy's being disingenuous. Maybe we're being a little too hard on him once again.
I think he's misinformed about what the perception of this would be like in a vacuum, like what the perception of this type of thing would be, because without high blocking from like mainly jumping attacks in Street Fighter 2, then you only need to low block. So if you're like uninformed about fighting games and you realize to block the low you need to crouch and block, that automatically means if there is a different type of block where you are standing and you can't block low, then that means this block is for blocking highs. If my opponent's in the air, he is high above me. So that is intuitive. For some reason, he says it's not intuitive.
It's both low attacks and high attacks, but will lose to jumping attacks. Not as intuitive, but that's the rule still used today.
Mental stack!
It's the mental stack, man. Learn how to.
Motherfucker! Fuck out of here!
Hey, Punk said it the best. We just play the video. Punk said it best.
Yeah. Getting past.
But high-low mix-ups in Street Fighter 2 weren't so scary because crouch block covered all attacks on the ground, and jumping attacks were easy to react to with stand block because everyone jumped so damn high. But there was a downside of crouch blocking, which was that you couldn't move. So a spacing game was played where you'd try to tag your walking opponent with a quick and long low attack while avoiding or blocking theirs. One of the earliest examples of footsies, the strategic combat focused on movement and attack ranges. But even still, crouch blocking was really effective, so they had to add a couple things that could beat blocking, namely throws and chip damage from blocked special attacks. But as you can see, Street Fighter had a this beats that, but that beats this kind of rock, paper, scissors gameplay, but with
I hate this fucking term. It's not
But that was
fucking.
the
It's
point.
not rock paper scissors. It's not. Stop saying rock paper scissors. It's not.
No,
Don't say it's.
I
Don't
know,
say
I
it's
know.
chess. Don't say it's rock paper scissors. It's fucking Street Fighter. There is no analogy that can fit unless you're describing like fucking lizards in the wild fucking playing with each other. That's how
It's because
complex
they want to
it
make.
is.
They want the product to be compared,
digestible.
to those others games. You're at least digestible as those other games. Like people know chess because it does build some intelligence in the person. Street Fighter not so much. It probably makes you a little bit more barbaric. You become a mouth breather after a while.
What if I play
you get
again
more
in Street Fighter
hunchback.
4? I become very intelligent.
Oh no, you start becoming even more unga bunga.
I'm stance switching while I'm comboing you. How's that not intelligent?
Like And it's funny that you said that because for me, I felt at least Street Fighter 2 Grandmaster Challenge Super Turbo was like the chess of the Street Fighter. You know, like you had to know how to play that game. You know, especially in high level. You know, you're just gonna lose your money. That's how I always felt. You know, but you saying that we shouldn't use that. You know, we shouldn't use that type of terminology.
I don't like it. Did I say we shouldn't use it? Maybe I said
no. But you're right.
I personally don't like.
No, but you're right. You're right. Maybe you're right. Maybe it is a bad description. You know, maybe it's putting the game on a pedestal.
You're right.
Every choice is contingent on timing and spacing.
Tomo taught me a method called the TDR. Timing, distance, and reactions.
But a way to bypass this spacing game on the ground.
You heard that? Pause that real quick. You heard that the timing of the
distance and
of the
reaction.
move itself, the distance. You got to understand how to perfectly whiff punish. You know, and then your reaction. You got to know how to react against the opponent.
I think these guys are incorrectly not doing a Honda mirror match in this version of the game.
They're shut your mouth. Shut your mouth.
Where none of that matters.
That's Tomo.
Sorry.
Oh, hero. All right, Tomo Hero. Right? That guy's a god. That guy's a god. Street Fighter god. All right, play it.
Sorry if my cup is making noise.
But a way to bypass this spacing game on the ground is to do a jumping attack. But the downside is that you cannot block in the air, making it risky. A big part of the game was to make people impatiently jump at you so you can strike them out of the air, also known as an anti-air.
Yes, the anti-air.
Anti-air.
This is how the game of fireballs and uppercuts became central to its gameplay. Street Fighter 2's combat schematic became the foundation of the 2D fighting game and has been used in countless titles. But like with anything, the archetype would evolve, and in the early days, much of it was thanks to SNK, who poached the makers of Street Fighter 1, Takashi Nishiyama and Hiroshi Matsumoto.
He left, and he went over there.
Perhaps poaching?
No, you could play. He left. They didn't want to pay that man.
While Capcom focused on refining Street Fighter 2 gameplay with all its bazillion updates, SNK was working on new fighting game franchises and innovating like crazy.
World Heroes, that's a good game. Samurai Showdown, Art of Fighting, those are good games.
Taunting and dashing, where you tap forward or back twice for quick bursts of movement. Street Fighter would add all these mechanics to its core gameplay much later. In '93, weapon-based fighting game Samurai Showdown introduced running, tap forward twice and hold, something Mortal Kombat would again add a button for. Backdash and run would become standard in many fighting games going forward.
Oh yeah, that was like a small dig at Mortal Kombat.
I don't know why. It's not any different from like these Smash players. Look how many buttons they got on their controller. You know. What about these people playing on Hitbox?
We're losing viewers.
People on Hitbox,
don't diss the Smash players. We're losing viewers. We need them left and stay, please.
No, but it's true. Like even the people that play on Hitbox, look how many buttons they have. You know, why does it need to be a jab at Mortal Kombat? You know, come on, man.
It felt like a small jab at Mortal Kombat.
It's just me.
But not all
I know, it's just
stuck around.
Where's
Nishiya's Fatal
Karnobs, bro?
Fury was the most experimental at the
Backdashes
time,
and
with
Karnobs.
its kind of 3D two-lane battle system, hold down forward crouch walk, and a 2v1 co-op mode that made the
they talk about it. Okay.
Nevertheless, with so many fighting game characters under their belt, SNK made a crossover game called The King of Fighters 94. This introduced the team battle system where each player picks a team of 3 characters and the order in which they appear. When a character's life bar is depleted, the next character on the team takes over. The player who can eliminate all 3 of their opponent's characters wins the game. As their new flagship fighting game,
but it's still in the round-based system, so I don't. To me, what it did is that you had to be a master of 3 different styles. Like that's really what it came down to. You had to be nice with 3 different characters.
Beautiful.
Because if you weren't, you know, each matchup would get even worse for you. And then you had to take up into consideration all the different matchups for all the 3 different characters. So it's countless combinations and so forth.
So that's like an incentive for the developer to also like not homogenize their characters so that each one is very unique.
Yeah, it's very unique. Yeah. It's a very big deal.
Like
so it's not to take away from what he's saying.
If you did a 3v3
just
out of 5, like how many of them would be more or less the same other characters doing similar things? I wonder.
Yeah. Oh my god, even on that.
There's some unique
Drive
ones.
Drive Rush.
Oh, 6, yeah. 6 for sure, very homogenized. I didn't even want to touch it.
Oh well.
I used 5 as the example. Like, some credit, I guess.
All right, let's see what else they
features
got.
in each iteration. KOF 94 introduced spot dodging, a way to dodge in place for a moment to avoid attacks. A kind of a pseudo dodge into the third dimension.
Oh, dodging. There we go.
See, that's what we brought up in the beginning.
KOF 95, they experimented with the option to do a longer 3-way jump, and Fatal Fury 3 experimented with the short hop. By KOF 90.
Uh-oh, short hop.
Short
it's
hops,
over.
yeah.
GG's. Pack
Short
it up,
hops,
boys.
yeah. Nah, shit. No, but this is a big deal because they're trying to say that all the different 2D fighting games had different forms of movement, which is correct, and that's why people were accustomed to certain speeds, if that makes sense, you know. Which is why at one point Marvel 2 did become the standard because everybody wanted to feel, you know, that type of movement, you know, or that level of excitement, you know. To me, the only game that comes the closest to Marvel's Capcom 2 is Ultimate Mortal Kombat 3, and that's me being wrong. Yeah, that's me being wrong. And apparently, like a lot of old school Marvel 2 players, they played Ultimate Mortal Kombat 3 on the side.
All right,
they weren't nice, but they played it.
All right, Mr. Keck, get on the cross. We gotta nail you to it.
They gotta nail me to it. Why? Jesus Christ, what's going on here?
Called a hyper hop, which allowed for some sneaky high-low left-right mix-ups.
Yeah.
Combine this with rolling and evasion mechanics that goes through fireballs and people, and you've essentially got the control scheme for what we know as King of Fighters gameplay. Tons of new movement and jumping options added to the 2D archetype.
I think what makes KOF unique in the current era of fighting games is that its movement options are kind of like a happy medium between what you would find in old Street Fighter and also in anime air dashes and whatnot. Like, there's a run option, which increases the speed of regular interactions, several different kinds of jumps that all have strengths and weaknesses.
Because a lot of those anime games did borrow from like the SNK lineage and from the Capcom lineage, you know, and we'll see that later on if they hopefully talk about the Magic series, because that's the way to properly label the franchise, not the assist type games. Fucking asshole.
I really love movement in fucking games in general.
Also, just really good.
If you get your movement down, you got a great game.
In contrast, modern Street Fighter at the core still uses controls from Street Fighter 2, but with forward and backdashing added from 3 onward.
Look at this beautiful stage.
Yes, Street Fighter games have had mechanics like long jump,
this one, that's a good one,
and focus attack, but these act more like guess mechanics that change from game to game, which is why each Street Fighter iteration is so different yet so familiar at the same time. But the thing that binds Street Fighter, KOF, and other SNK games together is the rule that you cannot block in the air. This keeps players
Alpha 2, Alpha 1?
Alpha 3.
Closer to the ground.
Yeah, Alpha 1, I think you can block in the air.
Category for grounded fighting games. A great example of a grounded fighting game is Capcom vs. SNK 2, which lets you choose which mechanics you want your character to have through its groove system.
It merges and compresses basically a decade of fighting game history into one game and tries to create all these different mechanics or permutations of mechanics from each game's original series to make those characters feel like they could be at home. You can play with SNK-style systems, like with a spot dodge or with rolling with short hop. You can play with charge style leader or the stock style leader. You get a rage gauge and K group.
No, you don't gotta pause.
Sam shows, but with Just Defend that makes it feel a little bit like Garo Mark of the Wolves. But you can also play Capcom characters in those SNK systems, and you can kind of mix and match to really get something that feels like it's what you want.
Yeah. No, everything you said is absolutely correct.
USA player at this moment.
Oh shit.
So we're becoming anime now. We're going into the anime
world.
Oh
my god. So SNK, none of those SNK were anime in its quality and storytelling.
It's not.
Or we're just trying to say, oh, you know, it's anime because of air dashing. So then, once again.
So Third Strike is anime.
Wow. Well, the air dashing, but once again, that medal goes to the Magic series, and I'm going to continue to use the distinguishment of the Magic series. That's what it's known as. That's what should be called, and that's what should be referred at. You know, not assist games, all right, or Darkstalker types, or these chain. No, it's the Magic series, right? Get over it, guys. Capcom
can you explain what the Magic series is for those who are uninformed?
The Magic series is when you are able to chain your combos using 3 different buttons on your 6-button layout. So, for instance, I should be able to use my light punch, my medium kick, and my hard punch to combo or to chain a combo. And then eventually in the Marvel series, you know, or the X-Men vs. Street Fighter series, you'll be able to chain all 6 of the combinations. So you could do light, medium, hard.
Wow.
And then eventually in Marvel 2, they simplified it even more, where it was more of a 4-button layout, where the first two buttons on the top and the bottom, they were like your light punches, but if you press them again, your medium punch would come out. And then if you press your light kick, and if you press it again, your medium kick will come out. So light, medium, and then hard, obviously, which would be your second button within that 4-button layout. And then to compensate for the other 2 buttons within that 6-button layout, they gave you 2 assist buttons. You had your assist 1 and your assist 2, which is actually a callback from the older games from Marvel Superheroes vs. Street Fighter, when you used to be able to call your assist pressing the medium punch and the medium kick together. And then I think they brought it back in Marvel vs. Capcom 1, where you would get like a random assist and press
US
that button
agent.
again. And then US agent. Yeah, so all these terminology that they're saying, guys, it's all fucking bullshit. All right,
it's bullshit.
Oh, it's an anime. Yeah, it's not an anime game. No, it comes from American comics. It comes from the Magic series, and obviously the Magic series comes from Darkstalkers. That was Capcom's very first anime game. You got to give credit where it's due. All right.
Yeah.
You can't just say
shout out to Magic
all
Johnson
these other games
for inventing the Magic series.
Magic Johnson for making
Magic Johnson's series. Magic Johnson created the Magic series. And he blessed. But
it's like
there's a lot of different terminology when it comes to the fighting games. For sure. Every group, especially when you go East Coast to West Coast, everyone's got different terminology for something.
Different, yeah. Of course.
Mental stack. So let's see here.
Right.
How do we become anime?
Anime, yeah, let's see.
After Super Street Fighter 2 Turbo was released in 1994, Capcom finally started to flex their own innovations with Darkstalkers, their first Street Fighter 2 fighting game.
Yes, beautiful.
It would introduce a third type of blocking, hold back to block in the air. But there was a caveat. Air blocking could only block jumping attacks, not attacks from the ground, which includes uppercuts. This kind of partial air blocking was found in Street Fighter Alpha and more recently, the Granblue Versus series. In terms of offense, Darkstalkers implemented a primitive form of chain combos where a loosely dialed-in series of buttons would magically do a combo, a departure from the stricter link-based combo.
Why did you say magically?
Combo time, where a loosely dialed-in series of buttons would
because it's a mod.
Combo, a departure from the stricter link-based combo timings.
I hope he calls it the Magic series.
It was around this time when combos were being recognized by both the players and the developers, and Combo Mania had hit a peak with the release of Killer Instinct, a game with a unique combo system that allowed you to do some
very super heavy
10,
combo,
20, or even 30 hits during a match. But with great combos comes great one-sided gameplay, so they also incorporated a way to stop your opponent's combo.
Alright, I like how he said one-sided gameplay. That's very important when you get into combos and long combos and shit.
Yeah.
Combo in the middle.
But that doesn't mean that it's an anime style, Like, Killer Instincts is not an anime game. It's a combo-heavy game.
I think we're understanding how to become anime, and he's describing the things, I guess, that required to become anime.
It's not, these anime kids are full of shit, bro. Y'all ruined Darkstalkers. Y'all ruined JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. All right? All the good Capcom fighting games, y'all ruined them. You know that, right? I'm just going to say it. The 5K lobbies is all cesspool. I'm just going to say it. Zion, everybody knows it. It's the truth. Right? Let's play the video.
No.
But preferences for a combo breaker system can vary, and typically SNK and Capcom fighting games tend not to have them. But while Capcom says no to combo breakers, they were completely okay with adding dashing. Darkstalkers was the first Capcom game to add dashing for the entire cast. But these were no ordinary dashes, and they varied from character to character. Some would hop, slide, or even fly like Morrigan. But Lord Raptor would go one step further and break the laws of physics by performing the first dash in the air. We'd also see cartoon physics in World Heroes, where the two ninjas performed the first fighting game Double Jump in 1992. But how absurd would it be if everyone could air dash and double jump? What if everyone could also do chain combos? What if people could block anything in the air without caveats? It wouldn't be absurd, it would just be anime. Guilty Gear in 1998 would have air dash, double jumps, and true air blocking for everyone, opening up way more interactions in the air and truly distinguishing itself from its grounded counterparts. This new type of 2D hold back to block.
Do you know what other fighting games were out in 1998 for Capcom? Street Fighter Alpha 3, JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, Heritage for the Future, Techromancer, Plasma Sword, Marvel vs. Capcom 1, Resident Evil 2, and Gunbird. Gunbird 2 came out that year, 98. So, once again, they don't want to give the Marvel vs. Capcom series the credit. What the fuck are you talking about? That was the first game that had air dashing. Nah, bro, they had it in X-Men vs. Street Fighter.
He might have missed.
You forgot Magneto?
He might have missed.
We forgot the function of Magneto? We might have missed. I think he might have missed that one.
Yeah, he might have missed.
Did we forget the function? Did we forget the function that is Magneto? What about the function that is Storm? What about Sentinel? Oh, what about Spiral? Couldn't Spiral do her dancing swords in the air and stay in the air for a moment and then actually disappear and appear on the other side? Isn't that an anime quality now that you're seeing a lot of these characters?
If I had my block button.
Oh, it's because it's an American comic book and we can't say it, because Disney's gonna fucking sue us.
I don't
it's
know
like, come on, man.
He's brought up Marvel.
I had to throw that in there.
He's mentioned Marvel.
Did he?
Yeah,
did he mention Marvel?
Yeah, he had.
The air would have anyone perform first. Oregon dashes. Stalkers was the first. While Capcom says no to combo breakers,
because we're becoming anime.
With games tend not to have them.
We're becoming anime.
While Capcom says no to combo breakers, they were completely okay with adding dashing.
Wait. He only mentioned Marvel 2 because of the combos, not because of the mechanics.
Well, I think the thing is his point with Guilty Gear that he brings up is that everyone has an air dash and everyone has a double jump.
And that's fine.
And everyone air blocks. I think that's why he's bringing up Guilty Gear specifically.
I get that. But there's another game in 98, Marvel vs. Capcom 1, that can be defined as anime. All right? We're
getting into the weeds here.
The weeds now?
We're splitting hairs. We're splitting hairs here.
We're splitting hairs?
I get your point, but let's move it along.
For everyone, opening up way more interactions in the air and truly distinguishing itself from its grounded counterparts. This new type of 2D hold back to block game was called anime.
Was it called anime? Really?
I'm still waiting for the Marvel series to be mentioned.
You'll get
because he's going by years now. Apparently from 1998. I'm looking at I'm looking at it.
Or sometimes
maybe I don't know what I'm talking about.
As a side note, the anime fighting game type mostly refers to the gameplay, not just the aesthetics. Some anime-looking games are known to have more grounded gameplay. I'm looking at you, Grand Blue, and BNF Duel. Anyways, in Guilty Gear X2 onwards, they added a clever combo breaker system called Burst, which became a defining mechanic of the series. It's clever because you can only do it.
Like, come on, man, really?
We've already gone into combo breakers already. You should have added this to your other part.
When you're the counterplay quote, this most creative and nerdiest systems akin to what you'd find in a collectible card game.
Do you agree with that?
No, because I don't think this guy actually plays Magic, and we actually play Magic. All right.
Well,
we play Magic together.
We mostly drafted, so there wasn't really that fucking stupid thing.
Drafting it is very high level. Okay.
Very very intelligent, as opposed to going online and copying some guy's card combo and then doing it in a game. And there are people who come up with those combos, and credit to you, because some of those are fucking insane. But if you're just copying someone's combo, who cares? Get out of my face.
Yeah, who cares? Basically,
let's draft. I want to draft.
Draft. Yeah,
how did you manage to make a bird deck out of this cube with random shit? I want to know.
Yeah, that shows the real intelligence. That's just
in Under Night In-Birth, this grind grid gauge measures who has the most grid blocks by the time this ring-shaped meter is full, which then puts that...
Alright, we can't go into the grid system in this fucking video. We need a whole fucking... We can't go into that.
He can move on. Yeah.
You should not even bring up the grid system, because that is a clusterfuck. You need to know so much.
Yeah, Okao no Ken has a grid system also, because that's what allows you to do the instant kills. So yeah, and at the end of the day, it's still a 2D fighting game. Like, I understand it's all these different. He's just talking about the bells and whistles. He's trying to distinguish all the different bells, all the different name brands for the whistles. Like,
he's trying to make it sound more complicated than it needs to be.
Then it is, unfortunately, and it's not, because it's still a 2D fighting game.
I think he's getting into the Marvel right now. I think this is what this is.
Let's up to their own anime-like game, or more precisely, a superhero comic-like game.
A superhero comic?
American anime.
Are you fucking serious? Really? American anime? That's what we're gonna fucking call it? Not the Magic series? Yeah, womp womp. Who the fuck paid this asshole? Jesus fucking... Oh my god. Guy's a fucking idiot now. I wanted to give him the benefit of the doubt. I really did. I really did wanted to give him the benefit of the doubt. I was like, all right, this... Because I've seen their videos before.
What's going on here? What's going on here? Put that down. What's going on here? What are you doing?
I wanted to give him the benefit. No, you did perfectly fine, because that's exactly how I feel. Everything that you played, exactly how I feel.
He
fucked up. Really? American anime?
Can I get an unblurry picture of this thing?
You couldn't even call it the comic book style?
Right after Darkstalkers.
Oh my god. American... This is like some German guy.
What are
you watching? You're watching your American anime?
Your American anime? No, I want to hear what he's saying.
Oh god.
Comic-like game. Right after Darkstalkers, Capcom released X-Men Children of the Atom, which introduced their take on universal super jumps. Instead of making a longer fixed jump arc like in King of Fighters, super jumps in X-Men went really high. Like, so high they had to draw twice as much stage background vertically. They even made an indicator for the other player that was off the screen below. But it wasn't just the jump height that was unique. Super jumps also let you drift your character left and right in the air for the first time, kind of like you do in platformers. You could also do multiple attacks in one jump, and characters like Storm had an 8-way air dash, and Sentinel could literally fly.
Combine
this with the fact that you can block anything in the air, you wonder why even be
This game was out of its time.
They'll just be susceptible to high-low mix-ups anyways.
Yeah, he's an idiot.
There is no
for saying
standing
that.
or crouching state, so there are no high-low mix-ups to worry about. Holding up back to jump...
And you want to know what's the worst part? He didn't talk about one very specific mechanic in this game, the importance of the OTGs. Because when you get a hard knockdown,
he just got into that, so he might cover it. I don't know.
No. Let me talk. Let me be the first one to say it. Then fuck him. When you perform a hard knockdown, there are certain characters such as Sentinel and Colossus, and I believe also Cyclops, where you can pick the character up again and perform an additional attack. And Capcom went even further to create a similar mechanic in the sequels to the Darkstalkers series with the pursuit attack, when you would press up and a button, any one of those 6 buttons, and they would do a follow-up attack after you do your knockdown. So yes, you could play it now.
So he's saying you can avoid a high-low mix-up by jump blocking. Is that 100% true?
You could get yourself crossed up in that manner and guard broken, but he's just talking in the context of Children of the Atom, which is it's not wrong.
Because you're too chicken to deal with a high-low mix-up on the ground is called chicken blocking. But this made air combat so good that they also improved ground mobility with dashes that you could cancel into other commands. You could even dash and cancel into another dash, which is known as wave dashing, allowing players to move extremely quickly on the ground. But with movement, blocking, and multiple attacks all available while super jumping, you ultimately got a lot more battles in the air, like a superhero comic book. This type of fighting game alone would be enough to distinguish itself from other genres.
Anime, yeah. He'll call it a superhero comic book, but American anime. Fucking idiot. Assist
in 1996, Capcom would release X-Men vs. Street Fighter, which would become one of the first tag team fighting games, not to be confused with the existing team battle system in KOF, which only switches characters when one gets eliminated. A tag fighter lets you switch
it's on a round-based system
with a command, and depending on the game, you can even fight simultaneously with some limitations. But what really changed everything was Marvel vs. Capcom 2.
Is this true? Did everything change with Marvel 2?
No, it actually changed with once again with Marvel Superheroes vs. Street Fighter, the very first introduction of assist, and Marvel vs. Capcom 1, where you had the assist that they would give you randomly. But I also want you guys to keep in mind that there were also certain SAK games, especially the King of Fighters series, that actually had strikers that you can pick, and they would help you in the match. I hate the fucking angle that he did, because you got to remember the first 5 seconds of this video, he was talking about 2XKO.
I think that was Tekken and 2XKO.
Yeah, that was done intentionally.
It's to hook you in. It's a sales pitch.
No, this is starting to turn out like a fucking ad for 2XKO.
Ooh,
because they don't want to give credit. Oh, we'll see. We'll see along the line. We'll see.
There's like a 10-minute segment of 2XKO at the end.
Oh yeah, we'll see.
We'll see. Which lets you call out your teammate to briefly assist you in the fight, also simply known as calling an assist. Again, SNK had a primitive version of this back in KOF 94, where you could call in a teammate only if you were stunned or in a hold. But in Marvel, you could call an assist almost any time
give me
you're
a
able
second
to
here.
What's wrong? You good? Are you dying on me?
I have to use the little boys' room, so just fill in the dead air.
All right. While we're listening to my co-host P, let's have some dead air. You're doing a great job in there. Wow. That's awesome. Yeah. Good job. Nice job in there. Good job. I'm sorry.
Attack, allowing for some oppressive offense and combos. Like, how do you block when your
I'm sorry, guys.
opponent hits you jumping while their assist hits you low?
Really? Jesus Christ, you couldn't fucking say anything? You couldn't say a fucking thing. You just had to clap the whole time? Really? That was the bit?
You were doing such a great job.
Clapping?
You were doing such a great
Golf
job
clapping?
in there.
I got it right in the hole, right? Right in the hole.
Did you clean up?
Yeah, I'm cleaning up right now. Right in the hole. Perfect. Dozo. You know, I got a birdie. Is that what they call it, a birdie?
Hole in one.
You know?
If perfectly
hole in one.
it's theoretically an
Like hot shot goal.
You got an eagle?
Shit,
you got an eagle?
I got an eagle, man, yeah.
The golf players will get that one.
Yeah,
give the defender a chance against this kind of oppressive offense. There was a mechanic that pushed your opponent away while blocking called push block. But the downside of having multiple characters...
Oh, man.
But there was push blocking in X-Men. Was there push blocking? No, I believe it was actually in Marvel Superheroes, and in Marvel Superheroes was Street Fighter. I think Children of the had him, if I'm correct.
All right, we're gonna do this segment, and then I think we're gonna
characters on screen at once is that you can also get them all killed at once. When two characters of the same team are caught in a deadly combo, it's ironically called a happy birthday.
Oh my goodness.
It's not called a happy birthday. That was originally from Ultimate Marvel Capcom 3. Because, can you pause that real quick? Because in Marvel 2, you would actually perform a snapback, where you would snap the first character out, and if the assist character was also on the screen, they will be on the screen momentarily, where you'll be able to perform an OTG and continuously keep them in the air by performing possibly maybe a hard or maybe a standing a kick, and you'll deplete their life away in that manner. You know, they only allowed the OTG mechanic in game. I mean the happy birthday mechanic in Ultimate Marvel Capcom 3. You know, and Mike Z, the intelligent Mike Z. You know, he borrowed that mechanic from Ultimate Marvel Capcom. I mean, from Marvel's Capcom 3. You know, so once again, you know, like this. I have to interject here because obviously there's a narrative that's being pushed here, and I don't fucking like it because they did not mention the Magic series and why it was so important for Capcom and why they were using that for a lot of their games. Even Plasma Sword had a little bit of the Magic series, you know, with the plasma combos and everything else. So it's very disingenuous of them to try to make it seem like, oh, you know, these games don't really matter, and this ends up turning out to be an ad for 2XKO. You know, we want you guys to realize that 2XKO is the new assist fighter. You know, this is the new combo heavy game, but we also have those defensive options. Like, you know, that game's going to turn out to be a dud. Like, it's fucked up. Like, I like the Cannon Brothers because they were responsible for making Evo, but it's getting real obvious what they're trying to do with this game.
Too many cooks in the kitchen. That's what the game should be called.
Too many cooks in the kitchen. A lot of bum-ass UMVC 3 players are now developers, and you can't even take their opinion seriously. because they never played an actual fighting game before.
What innovations is 2XKO making?
Absolutely nothing. Absolutely nothing. And this is no disrespect to Clockwork, because Clockwork is intelligent, but he's a Strider player. He played Strider Doom. He played fucking Strider Doom. He chipped you to death. All right?
Here's the thing.
He didn't even combo you. He chipped you to death. Like, I'm sorry.
I know I just said the 2X the what are the innovations thing. If they manage to make I think it's free to play, right? If they manage to make a successful free to play fighting game that has a large audience, then fine. I can deal with them not innovating the genre. If they have their success in that way, and we can maybe move forward into some more interesting monetization practices for these fighting games. Because I'm gonna be honest with you, I'm getting really sick and tired of these fucking season passes unlocking characters and all this shit.
Oh no, that's the norm now. You need to thank the Xbox generation for that. Thank Bill Gates. He made it the industry norm.
Thanks, Bill Gates.
It's done. The era of buying a game and actually unlocking something doesn't exist. That's gone, bro. That's a novelty now. You gotta pay for that shit.
I remember putting Dragon Ball Z Budokai 3 into a fresh PS2, going through the campaign, and unlocking Omega Shenron in 42 hours.
You know what the fuck that is? That I buy a game, and in order to see the final ending, I have to buy a downloadable content add-on to see the ending of the game? You mean to tell me that you robbed me? You sold me a product that was incomplete, and now you're going to give me the full ending? And I have to pay extra? No, fuck you.
There's a carrot.
This is why I will continue to play the Dreamcast, because those games have a beginning and an end, and they have replayability.
The math doesn't even make sense for their fucking monetization. The whole game is $60. The game has like 40 characters, and you're charging like $5, $10 per each character. The math don't even work out here. The math ain't mathin'. But I just want to say this video feels bizarre because it seems like it's trying to be an introduction for new people who aren't informed in the FGC, and is trying to like present the information very basic, like the most raw, basic information, and at the same time, like, introducing all these complexities of all these different games, and I'm not really sure why. I feel like this is like popcorn content, where you're not, where the person who's watching this isn't supposed to retain any of this information. They're just supposed to watch this and be like, wow, this guy knows a lot about fighting games.
And like, let's look at it like this. We're gonna take a quick look at the chapters. Like, we're probably gonna wrap this up because like I'm getting really fucking angry because like he didn't even talk about like 3D gameplay or like sidestepping.
That's the next one.
No, I know, but when he was talking about SNK, doing sidestepping, he also could have talked about how in Tekken they had a similar mechanic where you could sidestep, and obviously that became a universal thing for 3D games. Like, he's making this video very fucking long-winded. Like, I'm sorry. Let's take a quick look at these chapters. He did the archetype. I thought he was going to talk about the different functions, and these fighting games, in terms of like the very mechanics themselves. He went on talking about these different 2D fighting games, and that's perfectly fine. Talking about the cross-ups, the block buttons, the highs and lows. Eventually went into SNK. How SNK basically changed up the sauce. And then when he fucked up is when he started talking about how to become anime, because he should have went strictly talking about Darkstalkers, giving them their credit, and strictly talking about the original Marvel series and the Magic series and what they were able to establish from the other games. The history is there, all right? The pudding is there, ladies and gentlemen. You can't rewrite history. This is revisionist history is what they're doing, all right? You just can't fucking do that.
Well said.
All right? I'm sorry. That's just the truth. No, it's the truth, and then you got, 3D fighting games, 3D gameplay, 5D fighting games. What the fuck does that even mean? Why? Because you can fly around and you're doing, this PvP mode? No, that always existed. There was a game known as Virtual on Mars. Did we fucking forget that was at the arcades? Those super giant cabinets? I played that game as a fucking child, all right? As a fucking child. So it's offensive that they're trying to make it seem like, these different new concepts, we don't know. No, there was always experimenting. The Japanese was always experimenting. They was like, Street Fighter was on a 2D plane? That made how much money? Okay, we need to come up with the next idea to put $1 million in the bank, all right?
What's
they
the game
had
called?
the experiment. Virtual on Mars.
Oh,
he put super on Mars. What the fuck is this? My co-host, once again, a fucking idiot. Jesus Christ, I love him. Virtual on Mars. Yes, that right there. Ontario, yes. That's a classic.
I just wanted to bring up the game for context.
Oh, no, you should have put Dreamcast. Type Dreamcast right next to it.
This one, right?
Yeah, that right there. Yeah, they're trying to say, what this is 5D gameplay? Is this a 5D fighting game?
Final
or
Fantasy
is this a 4D fighting game? Final Fantasy Dissidia, yeah. And Final Fantasy Dissidia borrowed from Virtual on Mars. You see?
Yeah.
Dragon Ball Z, the new one? Borrowed from Virtual on Mars. Tenkaichi borrowed from Virtual on all those games borrowed from Virtual on Mars. You know, it's very disingenuous for him to make a fucking statement like that. This guy doesn't know his fucking history.
Look,
you
man,
mean to tell me that it took him an hour to say all this fucking shit?
This is a Ghost in the Shell okay?
A Ghost? How? I should fucking choke you. You go over there and fucking choke you.
Ghost in the Shell soundtrack is fucking banger, dude. Anyway.
And these are people that's getting paid in the industry. That's the fucked up part, bro. And they talking about, yo, I have to do this research for this video so, you know, we could get the sponsorships and everything. And I'm not, because I like their videos. I like their past videos. But this video right here, I already knew. Once I read the title, I said, this is going to be a little problematic. Let's see how honest he's going to be. And so far, that nigga's been full of shit. Like, come on. You put the verses all the way over there?
So do you want to see what he says about 3D games for like 10 minutes?
Yeah, let's see what he talks about 3D fighting games for 10 minutes. Yeah, let's move on. I'm over the system part.
Back to 1993, and you have Virtua Fighter, the first 3D fighting game with actual polygons and a 3D camera.
Why did he pull why did he pull up the emulator with like perfect graphics?
Oh, because this is a classic. This game is beautiful, bro.
He should have brought up
it's crazy.
Without the smooth shading.
Nah. I love this. You know, I'm gonna be honest with you. Like, it's crazy how like even this blocky polygon game, like this blows a lot of games out today. like this looks. It's crazy how beautiful this game is. Like, look at the colors that are being used. You know, look at the background to create that level of depth. You know, what they're standing on, you know, the little ring, how they're able to turn around. Like, a lot of games now are struggling to do this. This is 1993. And please keep in mind that Sega was using military technology at that time period. Shouts out to the Japanese, man. Come on.
I mean, you are right about the colors. The colors very vibrant. We don't really see this type of shit in games anymore. We see
not anymore.
Desaturation of colors and very like bland visuals, very muddy visuals, animations that are unclear. Yeah.
Glance, it looks like a 2D fighting game just with 3D graphics, but this is no 2.5D game. The background is now empty because it now has become part of the playing field. In terms of fighting games and gaming in general, it was revolutionary.
Ring out! Ring himself out, that's the best part.
Look at this. I found this on the internet.
Different is good. With the release of their first ever fighting game, Sega has broken new ground by designing the only current martial arts game whose draw isn't violence or the ever-popular magic moves, but whose draw is realism, fluidity of motion, and genuine martial arts techniques. But this focus on realism and genuine martial arts also affected the gameplay.
Is that Jack Black?
Genuine martial arts techniques. But this focus on...
Yeah, it is. Oh my god, that's a young Jack Black. Yes, in the episode of X-Files when they were showing all the arcades. Yes, I remember this.
Jack Black was like, no, this is a American anime.
This is American anime.
Realism and genuine martial arts also affected the gameplay. Walk speeds were more realistic, attacks had way more frames of animation, and high jumping became much less effective, to the point where 3D fighting games eventually phased them out. This basically eliminated the left-right mix-up game, and like Mortal Kombat,
look how godlike high jump was back in the day.
Is your Tekken 7 champion?
The high-low blocking rules are similar to 2D games, except that highs are now always duckable, and jumping attacks are now called mids. They changed the name because in 3D games, most attacks that beat crouch blocking could now be done from the ground. Moves like gut punches, knees, and hop kicks became typical indicators of mid attacks, and Virtua Fighter suddenly made it extremely dangerous to crouch block because you cannot react to most mid attacks like you can with Cirque du Soleil jumping attacks. In later 3D fighting games, these mids could launch you and lead to a juggle combo, easily doing 40% or more damage. Whether they knew it or not, the mid would become a game changer. Over time, more and more 2D fighting games started to have mid-attacks of their own called overheads with a visual cue of an attack hitting downwards or a hopping attack, but they generally aren't as.
But he could have made all these distinguishes a lot earlier.
Yeah.
You know, once again, he could have made all these distinguishes. Because what the fuck does this have to do with 3D gameplay? One of the main things that he should have talked about 3D gameplay was the sidestepping and the fact that Virtua Fighters had a block button. It was a 3-button fighting game. So now they simplified the style once again.
Is he not even going to mention the 3-button fighter? Oh no!
This is why I mentioned the 4-button layout, the 3-button layout, and the 6-button layout, and of course the 8-button layout because of Smash Brothers. And now is he gonna fucking tell me that Smash Brothers is a fighting game? No, it's a 2D layout in a 3D world. All right, but you can jump everywhere. You know, it's a larger playing field. That's it. You have the top and the bottom.
Are you a top or are you a bottom? Pick.
Oh, good. Oh.
Pick your style.
I like to be on top. I don't know, man.
Guys, let us know in the comments. Are you a top or are you a bottom? All right? Let us know.
Games. Because crouch blocking became so risky, it became...
Dude, if he doesn't mention the 3-button aspect of Virtua Fighter, this is a huge misstep.
Overall safer to...
Because that is a very important element of that game.
It shows that the video is disingenuous because if you're going to distinguish the different fighting games and the styles, you have to talk about the controller layout. That is the most important aspect. That's what ties the gameplay.
He mentioned the block button, he mentioned the run button, he mentioned the other button,
all this, but you didn't talk about the layout itself. You know, how do I actually fucking play? The 4-button games, the 3-button games, the 6-button games. Come on.
Harder to block because Virtua Fighter allowed you to press certain sequences of buttons, which would.
I got a nitpick. I'm sorry, ladies and gentlemen.
Which buttons? Which buttons are we pressing in certain sequences?
Yeah, which buttons are we pressing right here? Yeah, it's the same button. It's just the one button.
Attacks. These are called attack strings, and recognizing these patterns can help you defend against them. But with so many strings and variations, you're bound to get hit by something.
Every time
this is the high-low mix-up game.
Gets off of the Virtua Fighter, I get uneasy. He's not gonna bring it up. We're running out of time.
Yeah, we're running out of time. Yeah.
It's very important to discuss that. PKG, punch, kick, guard. That's all you got in Virtua Fighter.
Yeah.
They simplified the controls even further than when that original Japanese guy was talking about simplifying the buttons.
Yeah.
Unfortunate. 3D fighter, and in a way, there are a lot of parallels to modern Mortal Kombat, which also has attack strings with mids and a juggle-centric combo system. But Mortal Kombat is a 2D game. What was it?
What? Oh my God.
All right, wait. Maybe he's gonna talk about it.
Play like a 3D game, not just look like it. In 2D fighting games, you cannot hit a knockdown opponent by default. The attack just goes through them. This was likely preferable.
Are we gonna talk about OTG?
Why is he saying 2D game?
So there's no OTGs in 2D games?
If I had a glass, I'd shatter on the floor right now. If this was the year 2000, I'd grab a Snapple bottle that was still made out of glass, and I'd throw it on the ground and shatter it. But now I got these plastic Snapple bottles. Fucking don't break.
Once again, ladies and gentlemen, this is why I mentioned the importance of the Magic series and Darkstalkers with what they was able to establish with 2D gameplay. All right? The years match up. All right? There's a reason why it's there. I mean, come on now. I hope he talks about OTGs. He has to talk about OTGs. All right? Because that's in 2D games. If he doesn't, then once again, that's very important.
Oh my God.
Them, which would lack any meaningful counterplay, unless you had some kind of shrimping mechanic or let everyone move like Aki. But in a 3D game like Virtua Fighter, they allow you to hit downed opponents because the counterplay is simple and elegant. Side roll.
But you could do this in Darkstalkers too. Oh my.
Into the background or foreground. This paved the way for the sophisticated get-up games 3D games are known for.
So the 2D games don't have any sophisticated wake-up games involving being hit on the ground?
No. You don't beat me off Okies. Right? You're trash. You don't beat me off. Keep Okiing me to death with hard knockdowns.
Okie me one more time. Get that ass bent.
But it's true though. Like, and once again, we're gonna have to have the discussions about the issue that is hard knockdowns, soft knockdowns, rising, quick rising.
I don't think he's gonna get into that.
Rolling forward, rolling backwards, neutral standing. How about just being neutral in general? Because those are all important aspects in all of these fighting games.
Not touching the buttons at all.
Especially when you're distinguishing them. Okay, like, I don't know, man. It's just me.
I mean, I think he might bring it up here because it's relevant to this part.
No, he's not bringing it
up. Over time, 2D games started to add more get-up options to have more counterplay against setups. But the lateral movement in Virtua Fighter could only be done when knocked down. And sidestepping in a 3D
does he
game
talk about the OTGs?
Too, but only one character had it.
Okay, so Tekken 2 was a 3D game, obviously, but it didn't actually have 3D movement. The only person who could actually do a sidestep was Kazuya. It's called the misstep, and all you do is do forward neutral, and like that. It'll move in and out. You can't really control the direction of it. It'll just randomly either go right or left. But he was the first one to do it.
Side dodging as a universal mechanic was introduced in Battle Arena Toshinden in 1995.
Toshinden back in 95, look at that.
In 96, sidestepping appeared in Virtua Fighter 3 using a new dodge button. In 97, Tekken 3 got tapped up or down to sidestep and has had it since. In 98, Soul Calibur introduced its distinctive 8-way run system where you can move freely in 8 directions on the ground. Even with lateral movement, the characters would still automatically face each other, and the camera would lock on to the side perspective, though sometimes a cameraman needed to be fired. The ability to move laterally gave players 2 new ways to avoid attacks, sidestep left and sidestep right. In a way, this kind of replaced the role of jumping high to avoid attacks in 2D games, which is evidenced by 3D games phasing out its moon jumping. Jumping in 3D games evolved into realistic jump heights with the purpose of going over low attacks, but not mids or highs, further expanding its high-low gameplay. But in one of the most controversial examples of the Predator effect in Tekken 7, guest character Akuma uses his 2D Street Fighter jump to go over Jin's otherwise safe mid-attack and do a 95% damage combo.
Godlike, you're supposed to do that. You're supposed to be able to do that.
I really started talking about Akuma before. Like,
you're gonna ruffle some feathers with that one.
Stanley's came around, you know.
Supposed to.
And I think that moment in itself just shows just how dumb Akuma was, if we're being honest. Having access to tools like jump, which unfortunately crushes highs, mids, and lows, I think that's just not fair at all. And again, it breaks the rules, the fundamental rules of Tekken.
I'm Vincent, Super Akuma.
I mean, I haven't really been at that high level, but I wonder what happens when you block. I mean, I don't know. I'm talking from a very uninformed opinion on Akuma in Tekken.
It just shows the power of the option when it becomes available in a game where it's restricted. That's all.
Yeah.
Call me. I'll let you.
But here's my problem with fucking fighting games. Now, in this current era, the characters are homogenized. More often than not, they're versions of each other, varied very slightly. There's not really that much matchup knowledge you have to know. Now the matchup knowledge is what's the frame data of his move. This guy's jab is +1. This guy's jab is -1. This guy's jab is 0.
I mean, it's not any different from when you take up a meaty on wake up. But I do understand the argument because,
like Street Fighter 2, when they were making that game, they're like, how can we make a sumo wrestler feel like a sumo wrestler? How can we make this ninja feel like a ninja? How can we make this magic karate man feel like a magic karate man? They all play differently. They're in the same rules of the game, and they all have their own unique attributes that they're able to do. T-Hawk can grab you. T-Hawk can dive from the fucking air. Honda can fucking head stomp you. He can fucking fly through the air. Ryu becomes invulnerable, and they don't really share their fucking attributes.
I think it ties in more to the universal mechanic.
Homogenized, dude.
I think that's what it is. It ties in more to like the universal mechanic. Like that's more of the
competitive mindset of these developers has kind of like made these games boring as fuck. Everything's League of Legends now. Everything's balanced. Play the new patch, dude. It's more balanced. We balanced this guy to be more in line with everyone else. And what do you have? A bunch of gray silhouettes poking each other.
Yeah.
Guess what character I play? Akuma is built around having great lows and not so good mids, right? Obviously he's got good mids, but it's the lows that are the real problem, so you have to duck more. In 2D games, most of your time blocking is crouching, and you only get up at overheads. But in Tekken, it's the opposite, where you're standing, and it's the lows where you make the read or react and duck.
So you have to adapt to the character? Wow. Amazing.
You should not lose for simply holding back, and I think that's the problem with Akuma. If you just hold...
Look at all this bitching, dude. They just want to win the next tournament. They don't give a shit about the fucking game. They don't give a shit about fucking variety. Nah.
Yeah.
Give Akuma a gun. I don't care. Give him a gun.
Give him a gun at this. I think they do talk about guns.
You're going to die, and
which is not too different from projectiles.
2Ds, of course, and that's not Tekken in my eyes.
I think he would be less hated, probably still hated, but less hated if he was just a brand new Tekken character. The fact that he's
so like everybody else, basically, is what he's saying. What if he was like everyone else?
I think we could speed up this option on the this talk on the 3D gameplay. I guess
he
didn't
touch the OTG. He didn't touch the button input for fucking. He's just going. He's just this 5 minutes complaining about Akuma. This is 3D. This is 3D gameplay. This whole section. We're complaining about Akuma.
Because Akuma has the ability to jump, but yet when you look at Virtua Fighter, they had the jump, and look how tall that jump was. Yeah, they're godlike. This game was godlike. The first Virtua Fighter was actually really fun. A lot of people shit on that game. It's actually really, really fun.
I bet it is.
That's just me.
What the fuck is a 5D fighting game?
This is what I want to talk about. What's a 5D fighting game? What is this?
God.
By the late 90s, the market was saturated with fighting games that were based on both
the
2D
that Shaq Fu, that shit was
so
fire.
Normally, there would be games that combined aspects of both. In 1997, Capcom released Rival Schools, which had the familiar gameplay of 2D games like high jumping, magic moves, and special attack cancels, but it also allowed you to sidestep.
What he said, magic moves?
Like in a 3D
now he calls it magic moves?
Special attack schools, which had the familiar gameplay of 2D games like high jumping, magic moves, and special attack cancels, but it also allowed.
He called it magic moves in Street Fighter 2.
Instead of supers?
In Street Fighter 2, he called it magic moves also. Like when the
supers
and shit.
Magic moves, that's what he called it?
I guess
He didn't call it a special or super or special art?
It's Japanese.
That's what he had to call it, magic move?
You gotta understand, it's Japanese Hogwarts. Just like American anime, we got Japanese Hogwarts.
We have Japanese Hogwarts versus American anime. What the fuck is going on?
Place. It is a magical place.
Oh.
Blown up.
It's a magical place, Hogwarts, dude.
You to sidestep into the background like in a 3D game. But these games were not very common, and even Fighting Layer, which started its series with this kind of gameplay, ended up shifting over to a more conventional 2.5D fighting game, though it looks like they're going back. There isn't a particular term for games that play like 2D fighting games while utilizing a 3D plane, so for now, I'll just call them 5D fighting games because...
What a very retarded fucking definition.
Really? We're gonna call those games 5D fighting games?
We can call roguelikes, we can call Metroidvanias, but we have to call these games that are like 3D with high jumping, essentially, 5D.
Which is, once again, disingenuous because Rival Schools borrows a lot of mechanics from Darkstalkers and Marvel vs. Capcom, because the fact that you can do air combos in the air. And keep in mind that they also follows an SNK-like system where you can switch your character mid-round. Similar to like the team round system that I was talking about earlier about King of Fighters, but he wasn't able to make that distinguishment. He just wanted to call it a team fighter, just to say that it was a team fighter. But the actual fucking team fighter is Marvel vs. Capcom. You see how these fucking people are full of shit? But then they're going to be like, but 2XKO is the real team fighter and it's the real game where we have... come on, man. You guys what's fucking... Who the fuck paid this nigga?
You know what's fucking stupid about this? We've gone so long in the tooth here with all these descriptions for different games, and just now I'm realizing that we started this by saying 2D and then splitting it by hold back to block and block button.
Yeah.
Which is, at this point, is like... What even is this fucking... What even is this chart you're making?
Plane. So for now, I'll just...
What even is this chart you're making?
None of it makes sense.
And then the 5D is like implicitly... It's implying that it's
5D.
like somehow more complicated than other games. Because it's not 5-dimensional. But these games are very simple. I love Fighting Layer. It's very fucking basic.
So what he's going to tell me that Fighting EX Layer is 6D? See how much of a fucking idiot he sounds now?
Oh my fucking god.
Because
And I'm not even trying to be a dick. That's the sad part.
matter. It doesn't matter what video we pull up. We're gonna get angry.
I'm not even trying to be a dick.
I think that's the consensus.
He just sounds legitimately fucking. Oh my.
With this channel, we just pull up anything and we get mad. It could be two bunnies in a box collecting flowers. We're gonna be like, why is that fucking bunny?
Bunnies, man.
Why is
fucking
that bunny
tight.
collecting that fucking flower? You mother.
But it's like, come on, man. It's like, what is he talking about now? 5D fighting games? It doesn't exist, guys.
Let's move on. That's a very stupid fucking.
We had Tekken Crow.
There's a game called Antinomy of Common Flowers based on the Toho
what's
universe
this?
that allows you to do a
This is
three-way
cool.
jump upwards or downwards with the middle of the screen being the quote-unquote ground that somehow is the center of gravity with the character.
Yeah, this game is like
a
a
shump fighter.
You can do an instant down back.
Yeah, a shmup fighter, yeah. Like a shoot 'em up fighter.
5D version.
Yeah, a shoot 'em up fighter.
On the other
Yeah.
hand, there are also
This is a very cute concept.
dive
Yeah.
kick that only uses 2 buttons and has no
Oh
block.
my god.
He brought up the 2 buttons for dive kick, but he didn't bring up the 3 buttons for virtual fider.
Yo, the guy's an idiot.
Taking
The guy's an idiot. This is why we made this
categories
video.
to concoct
Wait. So that that shmup fighter is goes in with 5D and dive kick goes in with 5D.
Fucking idiot. Jesus Christ.
Why don't you just put other? What do you?
something unique while still being based on the archetype. These games are to fighting games what platypuses are to mammals, and so we have the archetypal other category.
Dude, why are you doing 5D? Just type other. What? I wonder. Where's my gun? Where's my gun? Where's my
What is he saying?
If you've made it,
this far,
congrats.
If you made it this far, congrats. You've listened to my schizo rambling for 30 minutes. Oh
covers
my
all the
God.
fighting game types based on the archetype, but there's still another half of the fighting game tree.
We're getting into Smash Bros now, dude.
One day, game designer
All right, let's
Masahiro
move along,
Sakurai
man.
was at an arc.
Do you want to talk about Smash at all?
In the original world, and what I mean by the original world, in the original fighting game community where everything was nice and sane, we still had some level of intelligence. Smash was not a fighting game. It was not a fighting game.
What if we skip
But,
Smash?
No. And because the purpose was to knock the opponent out of the ring. It can be described as a galactic sumo fight, if that makes sense. Because you have to knock them out of your space.
Mhm.
You know, that's the best way to describe Smash.
They
at
changed
first,
the goal. They changed the goal of the game, right? Normally, the goal in the game is to decrease your opponent's life to 0, and you get a particular type of gameplay in that way. Smash, you have to get them to a certain percentage where they get knocked away more than they would normally, which is a different kind of objective game, and it sort of flips the formula sort of on its head and makes things, I feel, more interesting from a conceptual standpoint of like, what is a fighting game? What is the goal of the fighting game? Because if it's just to like decrease your health, more often than not, maybe these games allow you to be kind of lame in a certain way, and you know, take that with a grain of salt. You know, I'm kind of talking on my ass here a little bit.
No, you're fine. And to add a little bit of that, what I also like about the Smash series is that it also borrows a lot of mechanics from the beat 'em up games of the past, like from the 80s and the 90s, like the Double Dragons, the Final Fights, the Streets of Rage. You know, because you have your one attack button and then your just overall movement. That's it. You know, you may have all these other special moves like your jump button and everything, but you still move in the manner of a 3D beat 'em of a 3D. I mean, of a beat 'em up game. You know, I keep saying 3D because it's a 3D game in general, but it's still a beat 'em up. You know, and it's still within that 2D plane. You know, and you got to remember there were certain beat 'em up games that did follow, you know, the Metroid philosophy or the Castlevania philosophy, where you were able to explore, you know, the stages and so forth, where you have the routes or the different paths that you could say, whether you choose to go up or down, you know, because keep in mind, we're in a 2D plane where it can't go left and right. You know, it's not like 3D.
Do you have like, sorry, you have like something clicking in your background when you're talking?
Oh no, that was me. That was me playing with my pen. I'm sorry about that.
Yeah. It's distracting. Just quit it.
But no,
that's,
all right, fuck you.
Let's continue.
a 2D game with a side perspective, but it deviated so much from the original fighting game archetype that people wondered if it could even be called a fighting game. The most obvious difference is the percentage system and stocks instead of life bars.
Yeah, that's the main thing.
The goal is to knock your opponent off the edge of the screen to eliminate their stocks, and hitting them increases their percentage, which increases how far they get knocked back. But the combat itself also takes a very different approach. Remember all that talk about cross-ups, left-right and high-low mix-ups, scary mids, overheads, and chicken?
All right, we can go to the hybrid theory.
None of that exists because there is no auto-facing, and the game's controls are...
I pretty much talk about like what he's saying, man. Like, we know what Smash is. Let's not kid ourselves.
But what about fighting game platformers? Before Smash, there was a game called Mortal Kombat Mythology Sub-Zero, a side-scrolling platformer game that took place in the Mortal Kombat universe.
No, this is called a beat-em-up game. What the fuck is he talking about?
No, you misheard him. He said
Before Smash,
it's a fighting game platformer, not a beat 'em up, you stupid Fanuc.
No, this guy's a fucking idiot. The reason why Street Fighter exists is because of not because of Final Fight, but it's because Final Fight was originally supposed to be Street Fighter, and they said no. Like, let's do a sequel to the actual Street Fighter, you know? Let's keep those beat-em-up qualities, but let's make other characters. Let's make them unique. That's why you had the 6-button layouts. And that's another thing. I hate that he didn't talk about the origins of fighting games, which was beat-em-ups, you know? And which is why I mentioned Year of Kung Fu, which was technically like a boss rush mode, you know, of a beat-em-up game.
Sorry, dude. You can only bring up Street Fighter 1, and then we go straight into Street Fighter 2. That's how that works.
These people are full of shit. These people are full of shit, bro. They don't. And the fucked up part is that I
he
didn't
got
have
his
to
history
research
from
any
Reddit.
of this.
He got his research from Reddit.
He got his history from Reddit.
You can't read the comments of people who are -9. You're -9 right now, Duke. You're talking about beat 'em ups and shit.
-9?
You're -9.
Because I'm talking about beat 'em ups, but yet beat 'em ups are the reason why fighting games exist.
No, dude, it's Street Fighter 1, and then I get 20 upvotes, and you get -9.
They both go hand in hand.
Sorry, dude.
They always go hand in hand.
See you later. I'm going to the top of the page.
Oh my god.
Game called Mortal
I'm
Kombat
fucking
Mythology
crazy.
Sub-Zero, a side-scrolling
Look, man, a
platformer
fighting game,
that took place in the
fighting game
Mortal Kombat
platformer.
universe.
Here we go.
It was a cool idea, but they forced the archetypal 2D fighting game controls in a
Fighting game
side-scrolling platformer game,
platformers.
which ended up
Hey, do
being
you play
a
any fighting
hilarious
game
mess.
platformers?
They
Yes,
kept the
I do.
three-way jump, motion inputs, and backwards and forwards walking, but because it's a platformer,
What's
you
your favorite
sometimes have
fighting
to walk
game
in the other
platformer?
direction
For
to get
me,
somewhere.
it's
Their solution? A turn-around button. The fighting game platformer never took off, and
Look, he's making jokes at fucking Mortal Kombat again with the buttons.
I don't know why. You guy's an idiot. Because look how many buttons 2XKO has.
How many does
What's
it
the
have?
point he's trying to make? More than Mortal Kombat?
Oh boy. Did you play it? You played it, right?
Absolutely terrible. How many
Let's see,
buttons is
ladies
that?
and gentlemen. We have low, medium, high, S1, S2, T, dash, and parry. So that is that's 8. 8 buttons.
8 buttons?
Let's go back.
But he's crying about.
Well, this virtual on is still playing.
Good game.
Shout
That's
out to
why it's a
Virtual.
good game.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh.
What is he talking about? This guy's an idiot.
You just gotta dig at Mortal Kombat for some reason. This is the narrative. Mortal Kombat sucks. It's dumb.
Mortal Kombat sucks. American anime.
If he was being like not a fucking disingenuous, you know, whatever, like he would talk way more about Mortal Kombat, way more about Killer Instinct, way more about Marvel. Like he spent 5 minutes complaining about Akuma for some reason.
Yeah, which was pointless.
the fighting game platformer never took off, and
The fighting game platformer never took off.
Never took off. Oh yeah, beat 'em ups never made millions of dollars. Double Dragon never made millions of dollars. Final Fight wasn't a successful arcade game for Capcom. Yeah,
Hold on.
most definitely.
What is this game called? Mortal Kombat. What is it called?
Mythology, Sub-Zero Mythologies.
Wait, is this on Steam?
It's on PlayStation 1.
Beat 'em up.
And ladies and gentlemen, the official Wikipedia states that Mortal Kombat Sub-Zero Mythologies is classified as a beat-em-up game. Once again, this video is full of shit. Come on, man.
A true delight that will surprise beat-em-up fans as much as a flashback-style adventure maniacs.
Come on, man. This video is
it's a fighting game platformer. Shut up.
But that's
Has
not
a turn
always
button.
bad. All sorts of unlikely genres have crossed over into fighting game territory with great results. Bust the Groove is a
Oh look, it's a fighting game puzzle-like.
All sorts of unlikely genres have crossed over into fighting game.
It's just Tetris Versus.
I love fighting game puzzle-likes. My other favorite fighting game puzzle-like.
That doesn't exist. Tetris Versus always existed.
No, dude.
That always
it's not
existed.
Tetris
What is he
Versus.
talking about?
It's a fighting game puzzle-like.
Territory with great results. Bust the Groove is a 1v1 rhythm game.
There wasn't versus mode in Pac-Man? What the fuck is this guy talking about?
Where's Def Jam Fight for New York?
No, seriously. No, seriously, there wasn't versus mode in Pac-Man? Is this really what he's saying right now? In the arcade? Back in the fucking 80s?
1v1 rhythm game where you
Really? There wasn't two-player mode? Oh, come on, man.
He does bring up Tetris.
I'm crazy, huh? I'm crazy, huh?
I think he's lost the plot on this video. He's in his house editing for 5 days. He's like, I gotta wrap this up somehow.
That was terrible.
I really need that Akuma section in there. That really does belong there.
5 minutes of a guy complaining about Akuma. Good lord.
Where you can give your opponent garbage. Tennis games can have supers, and so can Pong.
You ever see one of those animes that it starts out all normal and then it just gets fucking retarded towards the end of the anime? We're in like
worse
the
and worse.
We're in the end of the
my
anime
God.
arc where we're just like we're in complete nonsense land where nothing makes sense and nobody cares to explain how or why.
You can PvP in MOBA or action RPGs, and of course, there's Maiden and Spell, a 1v1.
Dude, are you gonna just list every fucking game that exists? Like without any context? He's not giving context. He's just like
hell game. These games might not have any martial arts combat.
The hybrid theory.
Of the art
No, they're just based. It's just
type that give those games.
These games come from the lineage of
all is a 1v1 zero sum
puzzle fighters. That's it.
Because
You know, it's fucked up that Capcom took that term, but it's no different from like the Tetris Versus games. You know, like they always had those puzzle games where they had the two player mode. That always existed. All right, what the fuck you think Pong is? You know, that's the first fighting game. He should have spoke about that first. Pong was the first fighting game.
I love 1D fighting games like Pong.
Come on, man! Like
we're losing the audience here. The audience
come on.
is dying. We need to
gotta wrap this up.
We need to gain some type of foothold over this nonsense that he's just. I don't even know what he's doing.
Now he's talking about arena fighters.
Arena fighters, bullets and missiles.
Because if that was the case, like we said, he could have spoke about Virtue on Mars, and we spoke about that already with the sidestepping. See, the whole point was that he kept trying to make it seem like sidestep was this revolutionary thing. There was other games that were already practicing sidestepping. 2D games, 3D games, 2.5D. Like, come on, what the fuck?
Deep breath.
No, yeah, I got
deep.
Yeah. What's wrong with this guy?
Let's
What's wrong with this guy?
Let's take a moment to thank our sponsor, Progressive. Thank you, Progressive, for sponsoring this.
Motherfucker, fuck out of here. That random shit, bro.
We're gonna wrap this up by talking about this last segment here that he has in here, which we assume is an advertisement for 2XKO. Let's watch.
Because then he has bullets and missiles. What is he talking about? Bullets and missiles. That's the worst part.
And 2XKO is not a Tekken-like. What is 2XKO actually like? There's no question it lands somewhere between the Versus and anime archetypes, which means it's an archetypal 2D hold-back-to-block game with left-right and high-low mix-up.
I like how he plays the nice YouTube tutorial music here for this section. Like, oh, look how awesome this game is.
So this was nothing more than an ad for 2XKO.
The check cleared. This is a terrible ad for this game, by the way. This is like just nonsense. Like the most basic of basic information, and then the most like random fucking shit he could find off random fucking forums and fucking Google searches and YouTube videos. Just pull it in the video, no context. Let's complain about Akuma for 5 minutes. The most incohesive fucking video I have fucking watched from this fucking god awful fucking channel.
So for 49 minutes, this man spoke about absolutely nothing, and then decided to end it with 2x KO.
With the tutorial music, so you know it's good.
In addition to the standard 3-way jump, each character can do a super jump like in KOF, except the game lets you slightly drift in the air. Block anything in the air, and some characters have jump
Look, we're bringing back references from the whole other video. Look, oh wow, it's in 2x KO, guys. Come play 2x KO, it's free.
Modifiers like Ari's air dash and Echo's forward hop. Wow. The game also allows both dashing and running, but like in versus games, you can wave dash, making for extremely fast and expressive ground movement. But the biggest versus element in 2x
But somehow it's grounded. Somehow it's a grounded game, though. You see what he did?
It's not a dasher. It's not an anime dasher.
It has all those mechanics, right?
So if spring rolls are not burritos and
hold on. It's
spring rolls are not burritos.
It's somewhere between
spring
a grounded game.
Burritos.
So it has all those mechanics that the Marvel games have, but for some reason it's not really a Marvel game. It's somewhere in between this anime and this.
Very disingenuous.
I mean,
guys,
I don't think so. I think he's very good at explaining his point.
Who the fuck paid him? Who the fuck paid him? That's the point.
We paid him.
Who paid him?
We gave him a view. We gave him 2 hours of watch minutes.
And Echo's forward hop. The game also allows both dashing and running.
To my understanding, this video has over 343K views in just 4 days,
guys.
And they're pushing this false narrative.
Shout
out! They don't know what the
outs
fuck they're talking about.
To Core A Gaming. Hit that subscribe button right here that I hit. Subscribe to
hit
them.
that button right there.
But like in versus games, you can wave dash, making for extremely fast and expressive ground movement. But the biggest versus element in 2x KO is that it's a tag fighter where you must select 2 characters. Like the title of the game suggests, the goal is to KO both characters.
Like the title. Hold on, the title of the game. So I'm in GameStop standing around and I see 2x KO and I go, oh, the title of this game suggests that I have to die twice.
I have to die twice.
I want this game because it implies that it's a 2v2 fighting game. That's what I get from 2x KO. No, you were told that in the press pamphlet. That's what it means. It doesn't imply shit. It's fucking random. No one knows what the fuck 2x KO is unless you fucking tell them explicitly.
Once again, I'm gonna say who the fuck paid this man. You know, I'm not trying to be fucked up. All right, and I like Core A Gaming. I really do. That's the fucked up. That's why I'm a little angry about this video. I'm a little angry about it.
Fuck this guy.
Fuck him, John. Fuck him.
He stinks, and I don't like him.
And I don't like.
I gotta bring that up. I need a sound clip. I need a sound clip of that guy. Hold on.
Oh, you're gonna get our video flag now.
He stinks, and I don't like him.
Spider-Man 2. Shout out to Spider-Man 2. Good movie.
Oh god, you're gonna get us flagged now.
Characters of the opposing team. The tag system blends, like the title of the game suggests, 2x KO, is that it's a tag fighter where you must select 2 characters. Like the title of the game suggests, the goal is to KO both characters of the opposing team. The tag system blends versus game rules with those of Tekken tag games.
Do you think the title of Marvel vs. Capcom implies that you have to kill the opponent's characters? I think 2x KO does it better. 2x KO. I gotta die twice. Yeah, you're good.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
I apologize. I mean, to me, listen, I don't know why they're being so fucking disingenuous. Shit.
I'm not sure if it's disingenuous. It's just like uninformed and trying to make a point.
Well, yeah, and that's the problem because they're trying to make it seem as
audio
if they're the
quality
more
went down.
knowledgeable ones. Oh, I apologize, guys. I have to go get my food. That's why. And we're doing this live. Yeah, and like I stated,
hold on. And we're back. Sorry for the short break. We had some
technical
difficulties.
Technical difficulties. I apologize, ladies and gentlemen. And what I was going to mention is that I don't know why they're talking about the tag fighters now. They could have done this a lot early on. Everybody knows that Tekken Tag Tournament was like maybe one of the very first games that came out when the PlayStation on it the whole time.
Hello?
It's fine. Hello?
Maybe,
can you hear me?
You know what? I think I know what happened. I paused it, and then, like, I tried to press a button on YouTube, and I think I paused it again accidentally. I think that's what happened. So, apologies for that. Might be a little confusing cuts that are happening. No. We had some technical difficulties, so we should be good now.
So this is the one. This is the one right here. This is it. You sure?
We're good. We should be fine. I'll keep an eye on it.
We're good.
Yeah.
I mean, what I was ranting off air, unfortunately, is just that it's
you brought up Mr. Wizard. That's why it was paused.
Oh, you didn't even let me finish. Are we recording that? Did we record that part?
No. Like when you came back, all that was gone, basically. Just assume that.
Like, come on, bro. Like, what the fuck? Are we recording or not?
We're good. We're recording.
All right. So, like I was saying, all right, it's unfortunate that we started off. We were originally talking about, like, what was it, the versus games? He was trying to make these different distinguishes with the 2XKO because all these different mechanics that they inserted. But like I said before, Tom, the Cannon brothers are very big fans of the Marvel vs. Capcom games, or the Magic series. They played all of them, the X-Men versus Street Fighters, X-Men Children of the Atom, and so forth and so forth. All the way up to Marvel 2. So when Evolution was first started off, it was originally the Battle of the Bay tournaments, and they originally first conceived the idea, to distinguish who was the best Street Fighter player. And then from there, they did the Battle of the Bay 3 tournaments where they were also trying to figure out who else was the best in the Marvel vs. Capcom 2. I think the game had just come out at Southern Hill Golfland. This is a little bit of a FGC lore also for the people that aren't as knowledgeable. But yeah, they always been fans of the Marvel games. They were always looking at the Marvel tournaments. Duck Doe, the original West Coast King. Even though Alex Vaya won Battle of the Bay 3, it's Duck Doe that's really given the crown at the end of the day. Because Duck Doe, Alex Vaya wasn't really playing the game. He was a Street Fighter player at the end of the day. He just played it and just dropped the game. He didn't really care. So, like, nobody really counts him. Historically speaking. Yeah. That's all. But yeah, we know about the reign of Justin Wong when he was coming over to California. He was busting everybody's ass. So it's not like the Cannon brothers aren't aware of who these people are. They know what the game has established. So it seems very disingenuous to me that they're putting Marvel in the back end now. And I don't know if that's because of the relationship that's turned sour because of Capcom and Marvel, because now that Marvel has been bought up by Disney, so maybe it's a little bit harder with them. The companies having a working relationship, we don't know if that's maybe because of the licensing with the movies. A lot of this is all up in the air. And some people are saying that everything is okay.
In the end, the vision is compromised anyway, because they have made so many compromises with this game that it doesn't even matter. It's like, we're going to make our own Marvel, and then it's like, now you just have a mess of, like, whatever the fuck this game is supposed to be. And they don't even know what the fuck it's supposed to be anymore.
Yeah, and that's the problem, because they wanted to make this game a Marvel, but I was like, oh, what if we add this mechanic or that mechanic? And like we stated earlier, there was too many cooks in the kitchen, So now you're trying to create...
That's what 2XKO implies.
It's too many cooks in the kitchen, and now they're trying to create a new subgenre of already established genres within the fighting game community. We already had the Magic series, we already had anime games. Are you going to tell me that 2XKO is this new genre now? Like, no.
The more we look into this chapter here, the more I realize that this whole video has been a setup for everything that is supposedly included in 2XKO. No matter how small or minuscule the mechanic might be, you'll find it here in 2XKO.
It's terrible to me, man. I don't know why they're doing this to begin. Like, if the point of this whole video was just to making an ad, they failed. They failed horribly, and I hope the people that are more intelligent can see through this video that it's nothing more than an hour-long ad, and it's sad because he could have gave a lot of history lessons here, and like we stated, he didn't talk about nothing about the 3-button layouts, the layouts of fighting games, why that's an importance, within 2D fighting games and 3D fighting games. Tekken is a 4-button fighting game. People keep fucking forgetting it.
I love this. They're like presenting this game as like high IQ while like trying to imply that it's not high IQ. Like they don't even know what narrative they want to fucking tell for this fucking game. It's kind of embarrassing, to be honest. It's like they're trying to appeal to everybody. It's like, hey, it's a really easy game you guys should get into. Oh, dude, this game's so complicated. There's all these crazy combos, and you can do all these crazy combos. Actually, we took the combos out because they were a little too crazy, guys. And you guys were finding things that were we didn't intend for you to do.
Intend and everything, yeah. It's like you wanted those long-winded combos,
and then we have
those touch and dabs.
We have a hitbox sponsor at the end of the video.
A hitbox origin story. You want to know what's so funny? You want to know what was the very first hitbox? Keyboard and mouse. When they were programming Year Era Kung Fu. How do you think they were playing that fucking game before they put it on the arcade cabinet? They were playing it with a keyboard and mouse.
So this name.
All right. So this right here, with the hit, this once again, they don't know what the fuck they're talking about. All right. No, seriously, what do you think they were? What do you think they did before they put it on an arcade cabinet? They were using the fuck. You think they had? You think they were really making custom controllers, bro? Nah, bro. They had to make sure that certain buttons were working and moving. Then they transferred it over. That's why they had certain betas and certain prototypes. Before everything was finalized?
You want to play a simple fighting game that's very easy to digest, very easy to understand?
Yeah, let's make it worse. Let's make the layout even worse.
Here's
it's
the game.
16-button layout arcade stick. Actually, no, leverless.
Here's the game.
That's the term now, leverless.
This is the game. This is the game you play. And, don't play it against some guy who's been playing for 40 years. Don't play that guy, because you're going to feel depressed. Play with your buddies. Very easy to understand game, very digestible game to understand. A lot of things make a lot of sense. They're consistent, how they work. And on top of that, the characters are actually unique. The characters play differently, have different goals. There's no reason to imply that 2XKO is somehow solving a problem by making like a simple game, but also it's a complex game. But also it's really cool because it has all these mechanics from all these other games. But also it's really simple, guys. Also buy a hitbox, please.
None of that makes sense to me. What was the purpose of this video?
The purpose of this video was to yap for an hour, talk about 2XKO, drop your hitbox sponsor and leave. and hope that everyone who was watching it was too distracted by the game they were playing while watching to acknowledge any of the points you made and to take.
They kept making fun of Mortal Kombat, but have you ever seen a Guilty Gear arcade cabinet layout? No, look it up.
It was like the horseshoe layout, right?
Yeah. So what the fuck is he talking about? Like, come on. Very, very disingenuous, guys. That's just me. Yeah, the horseshoe. 5 buttons. It's a 5-button game, bro.
Damn it, where is it? Here it is.
There we go. Yeah, that's how they actually do it out there.
So if it's hard to see, try and zoom in.
Yeah.
You'll notice there's a little block thing over where the second middle button goes. It's a 5-button game, horseshoe layout.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, kick. Yes, it's punch, kick, slash, heavy slash, and dust. Like, come on. What the fuck? This video was terrible. Very disingenuous. Not very knowledgeable at all. Nothing of substance.
Nothing.
Nothing of weight.
He has some analogies with music and food. You like those, right?
Yeah, analogies with music and food. Yeah. Tell me about the fucking fighting game. I thought every fighting game was gonna get explained.
Look at this clown game. Look at this clown game with the button in the middle.
Yeah, this is a clown game. Apparently, this is a clown game.
This video sucks, dude. This is one of the worst things I've ever watched. We're just here complaining at the end of this, just like, fuck this guy, fuck this shitty video. Look, man, this is me speaking to Core A Gaming directly now. You could have had a much shorter video where you describe 2XKO And then you have your hitbox sponsor. You don't need to do 49 minutes of trying to explain fighting game archetypes haphazardly like this, complaining about Akuma for 5 minutes, and then like simultaneously explaining the most basic shit you could possibly imagine, like how blocking works, and then also trying to explain grid systems. And then going into all this other bullshit. Like, this is made for, like, some person who's not even paying attention. They put this video on, they start doing some laundry, they have it on in the background, the guy's talking, he's making noise, it makes you feel not alone in your fucking house, like I am.
Terrible video.
I can't.
I don't even know how to end it.
I can't even be bothered to watch this 2XKO stuff because I just know it's an advertisement now and I don't care. Fuck you. Does this guy say anything?
Removing maybe the things that make fighting games kind of scary, but aren't core to like real fighting game experience.
Oh, here we go.
That's sort of fun. If you're going to make the game easier, then it's going to be worse for good players. We try to think about it in terms of fun. Once you get into the fun of understanding what a fighting game really is, about the mind reading and the high stakes sort of fast-paced poker of like that's addictive. And we want to like bring that fun to as many people as possible by removing maybe the things that make fighting games kind of scary, but aren't core to like real fighting game experience. And another one is like, it's just more fun, I think, to do things with your friends. It took us a while to sort of embrace like teamwork, but once we did and we found ways to like still have the carry aspect of like, oh, all the pressure is on me, but I can bring a friend along and we can like have teamwork moments. That's when the game started really to get fun, while still having like a real, hopefully endless mastery curve. We want this to be a game that you can play for literally thousands of hours and still.
Did any of that make any cohesive sense to you?
No, he's just a corporate mouthpiece. You want to know what matters? The ability to be able to press a button. Can I press a button in this fighting game?
Dude, if
can I react?
If your sales pitch
can I actually play the fucking game?
If your sales pitch for this game is like 2,000 words, you've lost the plot, man. I don't know what to tell you. You should have stopped at fun.
He said absolutely nothing.
Just stop at fun. The game is fun. That's all that matters. Play the game. Have fun. Bring your friends. That's all you had to say. You didn't have to say all this. Oh, taking away all these scary elements from other fighting games that have other scary stuff, and it's kind of stripping that away so that you can focus on what really matters. The poker, like what? What are you talking about? You lost me. You lost everybody.
It's just listen. 2XKO is just another Marvel game. That's it. It's just another anime game. They tried their hardest to make it seem as if their game is very unique. It's not. All right. Sorry to burst the bubble. It's not.
We need a cleanser. We need a cleanser for our souls. Here we go.
Here's Boog again, checking out the brand new phone that we got.
Oh my god. What? Is that a baby
what to make of it.
bear? What? What is this adorable thing that you're showing me?
What is it, Boog?
A fawn and a baby bear? A little teddy bear, a cub?
A kiss. Look at that kiss.
They look very adorable when they're that small. I'm not gonna lie. But to think that
Go give it another kiss.
That bear can
give it another
grow
kiss,
up
Boog.
and just viciously kill you at any moment.
Or if you're Russian,
just rip
hang
your
out with
face
you
off.
while you're fishing.
That's only if you're Russian. only Russians can raise bears.
Bear kiss and a deer kiss.
All right? I've never heard of an American raising a bear. Only
It's
Russians
because we
can do
have
that
all
shit.
that microplastics running through our veins. The bears know, and they're like, "What is this artificial demon that's in front of me?"
Oh shit!
The Russians just drink vodka out of glass bottles. There's no plastics over there.
Oh, just
all right, guys. I
terrible
hope that
episode.
video cleansed your soul. It was a fun hour and a half, and the last 40 minutes have been torture, and we've kind of lost our minds. And hopefully, that's entertaining for you guys. So this ne.
So this Nash. So
Any
yeah,
last
I hope
words?
you enjoyed. I hope you guys enjoyed the breakdown of some sorts. We tried our best to analyze what he was saying and get some thoughts. I know I did my part. And if anything, let us know in the comments. How you guys feel and everything. We got some 500 views over there for that short. You know, maybe we could transfer them views over here to this video.
I doubt it.
You know, it's only our 6 subscribers.
Those people are
that
scrolling
religiously
on by.
watch us.
We got 6? No, we got 15 subscribers, man. And 41 videos. Our most popular videos right now are the Fighting Game Conspiracy Part 1 and the reviewing every Alien movie, that was a fun time. We got our newest video, not doing so well, but that's fine.
Yeah, that's fine.
Check out some of the other stuff we got. You know, we try to mix it up for you guys. We try not to just cover news all the time. We like to dig into some topics a little deeper. But hopefully that was fun for you guys. Do you want to dox yourself this time or no?
Nah, not this time. Did you bleep it out for last episode or no?
Yeah, I did.
Then, kill yourself, guys.
What? What?
Yeah.
You can't say that on YouTube. You fuck.
I can't say that on YouTube?
No.
Oh, now you gotta bleep that one.
At least not that clearly. You can't say the KYS. You can't say that. I'll leave some of it in so that so the audience knows what you meant. Why would you say that?
Oh.
What are you doing?
Why are we still following YouTube guidelines, man? We need the kick offer. We need to get on Rumble.
We can get on Twitter.
We need to get on.
We got that Twitter video coming up.
Twitter. Oh yeah, I heard about that too. Yeah, we'll see how that does. I think it's gonna be that's gonna be another cesspool. I already see it.
Yeah, I've been waiting for this. I got the picture. All right, that's cool.
Absolutely correct.
See you guys.
All right, guys, we're gonna call it a day.
Bye now.